Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast, the coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. I'm Santi, that's Sancho. He's laughing because we were talking about like this is going to be a big show, and then he started connecting things and thought that my Wii looked like a Kleenex box, and he started saying, "Well, it's the Goon Show." That's why he's been giggling here for the last 30 seconds as we hit record. We have a man-child among us.
It's the Goon Show here tonight.
Sancho, listen, it could be the big show, it could be the Goon Show, it doesn't matter. But what I do have to say is that I just wish it never came to this, Sancho. I wish we never got to this moment in the history of the podcast. I wish you had just gotten on the train. I wish that all of those months ago, when I opened the doors, when I said, Sancho, you don't even know what you're talking about with Obafemi. Just jump on the train and enjoy the ride with us. Please be a part of it all. But no, Sancho had to dig his heels and talk about something he didn't know anything about. I don't see it with Oba. I just don't see WWE pushing Oba. I don't think he's a Brock Lesnar type. Even though I've seen 5 minutes of Obafemi, I'm going to make this unilateral decision that I just don't see it. Oba's never going to grab the brass ring. First and foremost, I still can't wait to rat you out to Obafemi in person. I have half a mind to DM him on Instagram to see if he'll reply, but I'd rather wait for that moment in person. But second of all, Sancho, you fool. How could you bet against Obafemi? I gave you the ability to bet on oxygen, and you said, nah, I don't think that we need oxygen as a humanity. I gave you the chance to buy home insurance when I was showing you a house on fire, and you said, nah, he's just not that guy. I just haven't seen enough. And now what's happened, Sancho? Not only has the train arrived at the station, but the train is already going to main event factory destination at WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar, and everyone is on it. And you know what everybody on the train is doing? Everybody on the train's like, who? While Sancho is being left in the distance back there, still waving the flag for little Karrion Kross. One day, Karrion Kross will return. Karrion Kross was the one on the phone with Randy Orton. Karrion Kross is still in our spirits with Aleister Black. The New Day. Your train suck. My train is fun. And you could have been on it, Sancho. You could have been on it, but no, you had to dig your heels in on this. And now you don't get to be on the train. And guess what? This train's gonna be like 20 years long, brother. This train's gonna be here for so long. Guys, go look at his reaction to Obafemi destroying Brock Lesnar on Instagram. Do that right now. Go look at the comments. Everyone telling him, not allowed. Not allowed. You did this to yourself, Sancho, and it never needed to be this way. And I hate that this is happening to you, but I also love it. It's vindication that you are toxic or cursed. Both work. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Nothing from Sancho West Side.
You literally made up 6 things about what I said in that entire thing.
Because you said 20.
You never allowed me on the train to first off.
I gave you 40 minutes to get on the train. We argued for 40 minutes to get on the train.
And then you cut me off from the train. I would like to present this
40
to you.
minutes. That's not cutting off. 40 minutes I tried to get you on the train.
No. I'm going to say this. You were me in my shoes. And this is the difference between Santi and Sancho. For weeks, dare I say months, people, if you're new to wrestling, it's cool. Santi was not allowed on the New Day train. He was begging me, asking me week after week after week, and the New Day was getting better and better and better. This started with the Authors of Pain and all the New Day stuff, and eventually ended up with the big heel turn of the New Day. And a week prior of the New Day heel turn, I said, you know what, Santi? I think for the betterment of the podcast, for the relationship between you and me, so that we could have really good, engaging conversations, I'm going to let you on the New Day train. And you were like, oh, thank you. This is awesome. And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, this is going to be better for the Wrestling is So Cool podcast. And there is the difference between you and me. I did it for the sake of the podcast, whereas you are not going to do that. And I'm not asking for it. And I can't have this conversation. I can't be a part of this. I can't give you my opinion on the Obafemi segment.
Well, that's the difference, right? I asked to get back on the New Day train. because I
You
saw
told me
I was wrong. I recognize it. I ended up, had I just stuck with my bet, I ended up just being right. So Sancho, the train has a secondary train that's allowing people to get back on. Last
you're going
chance.
to do this.
All you have
No.
to do
No,
is
no.
apologize to Mr. Femi and the lies that you told to the millions and millions of Wrestling is Cool fans. The floor is there and available for an apology to Femi fans, the Oba Feminess, and to Mr. Femi himself. The opportunity is here, brother. The question is, will you take it? Will you be man enough to get on the Oba Femi train so that we can have some proper discussions about Oba Femi? Now, don't get me wrong. All first-class tickets are sold out. You understand that, right? At this point, you're general admission to the Oba Femi train. And if you're willing to, at the very least, apologize to Oba Femi and to the Oba Feminists, you can get in general admission. And then we can have these conversations. But just know that for the end of time, there will be a divide. There will be classes. There will be a system where I am a better Oba Femi fan than you. Will you or will you not apologize to Mr. Femi?
Ooh.
Oh. All right. You have been given general admission to the train, but just know you get one meal on the train as opposed to, the regular snacks, the free drinks, all of this stuff. You might be able to buy an upgrade somewhere down the line, but right now, general admission to the Oba Femi train. Don't say I'm not benevolent. I gave you a chance to get on this train. Because, oh my God, Sancho, we're going to talk more about it. That was a star-making moment between Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi. We'll be talking about that. The Randy Orton turn.
Was my who heard on Discord?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was heard on Discord. It was heard by everyone around the world. All the Oba Feminists around the world hoed right back. That's all we needed. That's all we needed.
I would like to point out that it was all about WWE booking. Okay, that was all. Okay.
No, we have changed the narrative to you hating Oba and thinking he's.
No,
we've changed the narrative to you hating Oba and yet you think he's a bitch, and I'm gonna rat you out. With AI, I can make you say anything, brother. I'm gonna show him the footage.
That's what I want to say. It's like, what's AI, Oba? It's the new NVIDIA DLSS 5, brother. It's not me.
Well, we'll be talking about Oba Femi's star-making moment with Brock Lesnar, the insane Randy Orton heel turn, and so much more on this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast, the coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. A podcast that, of course, you could have all been getting 3 days earlier than everywhere else over on patreon.com/SantiZap, a Patreon that just continues to grow on this road to WrestleMania. So if you've already joined the Patreon, thank you. And two, I hope that you're getting all of your cents and dollars worth, because we are uploading so much on there. You are getting the podcast 3 days early, the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, PLE reviews, all the match clubs, the currently ongoing NXT main event takeover main event series where we're watching and ranking every NXT takeover main event, the currently ongoing watching and ranking every Elimination Chamber match ever, as well as all of the completed series that are already on there. Thousands of hours worth of content for just $5 will get you all of it. So go check it out, folks. Patreon.com/SantiZap. I'm confident that you will find every doubloon worth it. But let's get to it here, Sancho. I know we already kind of talked about Oba. We'll come back to that later on in the show, but I do want to start off with the big moment of the whole week. The big Randy Orton heel turn. A heel turn that I think both you and I said was kind of necessary, even though I think both you and I, even on the show, agreed, obviously Cody Rhodes turning heel is the bigger deal. Like that's landscape changing. I made the argument that Randy turning heel made more sense on the road to Mania, and Cody turning heel made more sense at WrestleMania as the big, like, oh my God, WrestleMania moment. I don't think that that's off the table. Sure, there's the possibility of a double turn. I don't think it's likely. I think that they're just going to be running with Golden Boy Cody Rhodes being the baby face, continuing moving forward even beyond WrestleMania. But it just feels right, Sancho, to have Randy Orton in this position. We have plenty to kind of dissect here, but I want to get like your first initial like gut reaction, since you are the one that does the SmackDown reviews over on the Patreon, what you thought about the heel turn. Did it catch you off guard? Did you like the brutality? What did you think about the decision specifically to involve Jelly Roll in that moment? What did you think?
Yeah, I definitely did a whole good breakdown, like a breakdown on the review and on my YouTube channel. I thought it was really well done because we'll talk about the Cody Randy heel turn aspect of who should have turned heel a little bit later. But overall, the segment was cool because I like just the framing of it. They literally put both of them on the same side of the table as if they were doing a podcast, right? It was like very friendly type of contract signing. I like that Randy couldn't express himself what he needed to do, and Cody was putting the narrative on. I was like, oh man, don't worry about it, dude. I got you. Hey, you're gonna be you. I'm gonna be me. This is gonna be great. You know, that type of person that just keeps talking over, like orders your food for you type of situation. That's what Cody was doing. He was ordering the food for Randy. And I like the moments before. And a lot of people skip over this moment where Randy was like, this was supposed to be easy. It wasn't supposed to be you. It's supposed to be Drew. And right before he gets cut off, he was like, he wanted to say, I need to be the Viper. So it's interesting to me that I think Randy turned heel because he knows what it takes to become a champion. And for him in his mind, he's like, I have to be the legend killer. I have to be Randy Orton in 2009 type of vibe. And we're getting hints of this throughout the time. We saw Sami Zayn, which I like Sami Zayn being used in this situation, where Sammy was like, he went to Randy. He's like, how can you do it? How can you stab your friend in the back? How can you RKO him in the chamber? You have that opportunity right there, and you took it. I need to know, Randy, what does it take for me to get there? And Randy was like, you just got to go into that deeper place of you, man. You got to go further than you want to. And I've been doing that 14 times, and that's why I'm the 14-time champion. So we had that moment leading up to this moment. And then right before he signs, he looks at Cody and says, thank you. And then he proceeds to go into the Viper. I absolutely like every part of that. And when it comes to Jelly Roll is us, the common fan. Randy, what are you doing, Randy? No, dude, hey, man. And then Randy Orton just, boom, rejecting that. And then that moment where Randy's like backing away, looking as if he's like snapped out of it. Really cool moment. But then he comes back and he puts the cherry on top. Bam! Headshot right to the dome. A la what was it? Braun Breaker in NXT.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A different angle would have showed different, but fascinating stuff, dude. So much so, a lot of people are saying like this could easily be night 2 out of nowhere. The reason why everything worked overall, I would say, is because there's actual deep, rich lore between Randy and Cody that you could dig into. Like there's a library of footage that you could dig into. Whereas with CM Punk and Roman, there is lore there to dig into, but I don't think they're willing to dig into it that hard because it's not that deep. Does that make sense? Like you hit the bottom of the barrel so fast, which we'll talk about the repercussions of that with CM Punk and Roman. Overall, I think it was the right choice of Randy going heel. It's the perfect choice.
I think it's the perfect choice. I think this is the space that Randy works really well in, right? Something that I've been seeing, and I'm sure you saw it on your Twitter, not that we are able to see necessarily each other on Twitter because I still have your ass blocked and that won't change. One of the things that I've been seeing a lot on Twitter is, oh my God, 3 years in a row of a legend returning and making Cody Rhodes bleed and then involving a celebrity. So last year, there's a lot of parallels, right? Last year, you had Cena turning heel, Travis Scott being part of the moment, and then Travis Scott being, and The Rock, and then Travis Scott being part of the Mania match. I think the parallels that people are seeing here, and again, I think they are similar parallels when looked at as individual pieces, right? You have the legend, Randy Orton, turning heel, just like Cena did, and then you had the celebrity in there in Jelly Roll, just like Travis Scott. I think if you just want to look at things from an individual pieces perspective, you can say, yeah, okay, sure, they're similar. But when you put the pieces together, they're totally different, right? Cena turning heel was a complete experiment. And it proved that Cena didn't know how to be a good heel. Randy Orton turning heel is not an experiment.
Or that the WWE didn't know how to use heel Cena properly.
Perhaps, sure. I just think he's not a good heel. And like right down to like how he worked that match. I just don't think it worked very well. Meanwhile, you've got Randy. This is not an experiment. He is quite literally a professional heel. This is where he plays, baby. This is where he's at his best. This is the version of Randy that people want to see as opposed to babyface Randy. So we're getting an upgrade and the one that people want in terms of the version of Randy Orton. And then, yeah, okay, he made Cody Rhodes bleed. Whatever, who cares? I don't know why people are complaining about that because it happened at the last couple of times going into Mania. The Jelly Roll involvement, comparing him to Travis Scott, I think is a freaking joke, dude. Like, that is not even close. Like you said, he was not part of the heel turn. He was kind of like he was a stand-in for the fan, for the casual viewer. Like, oh my God, what are we seeing here? He's just the everyday man. But let's say they even want to involve Jelly Roll in this storyline, which I think they've learned their lesson from Travis Scott and won't. Maybe they will, but let's say that they do. Even then, I can't compare this to Travis Scott because unlike Travis Scott, Jelly Roll has worked his ass off to become like a wrestler, training all the time, having matches, having backstage segments, appearing at shows he's not even advertised in, like just being in the crowd for a TNA show. This is a guy that clearly loves this business and is willing to give to this business, as opposed to Travis Scott that just felt like he was just there to take and not give an inch back to professional wrestling. I get not liking celebrities in your wrestling. I double get not liking celebrities in your main event programs, but I will die on the hill that this is nothing like Travis Scott. There's just, to me, there is no comparison at all whatsoever, just based on the passion that these two guys have to the product in comparison.
You know what remind me? You know when you play Madden and you take a player and their rating goes up when you switch their position to their natural position? It's like Randy's like maybe like an 89 as a babyface, but when he switches to heel, he's like a 96 all of a sudden. Yeah, dude, he gets that bonus. But let's talk about Cody and Randy. Like in the WWE ecosystem, you can't have Cody a heel. It just doesn't work in this current landscape.
Right now,
there's just no way.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to pull that trigger and then flip everything upside down out of nowhere. But more importantly, like I asked this question on X, and if you didn't have me unblocked, you would know. But
I won't unblock you.
Okay. But the question was, it's like, does Cody as a heel work on a grand scheme? Because I put that out there, like, sure, he was a heel in Impact. Sure, he was a heel in in New Japan. He wasn't a heel in AEW. Sure, he had those things working for him well in those like in the indie scale to the Impact scale to New Japan scale. But does that mean, will it work in the WWE? And I started to like really look into this, really review footage, really watch Cody as a heel, as how he does promos, does a lot of cheap heat type of situations. The main thing when Cody was a heel is that he had Brandy on his side at all times, which is always a heat magnet.
It works to have the sexy babe at your arm. It always works.
Really works, right? So you would need to introduce some of that element back into the fold for Cody Lander. You also need a faction around Cody. Cody had Bullet Club around him. That's what made him a heel in New Japan. That worked really well for him. And at the same time, this was a Cody Rhodes that was just kicked out of WWE. So he always had that WWE gut punch every now and then where he'll do the Stardust cartwheel and he'll do that. And then he'll flick him off where he'll do the pelvic thrust. Like that was an element of heel Cody that a lot of people don't want to talk about. That recipe for him being a heel is that he would always like, you know, a middle finger to the WWE. And the same thing with like when he was in AEW, when he was an executive, he would all that, Vince McMahon, all those kind of things. All that stuff worked because he was not in the WWE. So what happens when he's now a heel in the WWE? What can he do? Like there's a lot of things missing in the recipe of heel Cody that I don't think a lot of people were talking about. And more importantly, you can't interject it 4 weeks out of Mania. Like it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's why I kept like dying on the hill of like, guys, this is not a built to Mania thing. That's a Mania thing, right? That's something that you do at WrestleMania or something that you do after a long hiatus, right? When did they turn Stone Cold heel? At WrestleMania, because that's a WrestleMania moment. When did they turn Roman heel? After a long hiatus, returning as the tribal chief. You can't just, I just don't think that the Cody turn worked on a dime this close to Mania on a week-by-week basis. That's personally my opinion, at the very least in this context. From a business context as well, who's next up after Cody? As the big star. Oba's not there yet. You know, you still got long time for Oba to even so much as be considered in the same breath, if you ask me, in terms of popularity and being QB1. Seth Rollins. It's not Jay. It's not Seth Rollins. You could say CM Punk, but do you want to make QB 148 years old? We already heard the whole "you're old" thing that we'll talk about later on. I did the same thing as you. I looked around. I try to like analyze the landscape, and there is no next. No, it's not LA Knight. Take those glasses off. It is not LA Knight. It's not. Take them off. Take them off. Put your regular glasses back on so you can see properly. There is no one. There's no one, unfortunately, at the moment. And I look at their last couple of examples, right? And it really is a big risk, huge reward to turn somebody like Cody heel. You could have a huge risk and no reward, like they did with Stone Cold. That did nothing. That did not move things. Or you could have the huge reward of like what you did with Roman Reigns in the pandemic and turning him into the tribal chief and stuff. But that was not overnight like this would have been, right? There were a lot of things in place that made that work, real life circumstances that made it work. I just don't think right now is the right time for Cody to turn heel. Don't get me wrong. I will agree with everybody because it's the most obvious duh statement on the planet. Cody Rhodes turning heel would have been so much bigger. Yeah, no duh, obviously. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's instantly the best thing to do right now in the moment.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were, when John Cena turned heel over Cody, you could say when there was reports that The Rock wanted Cody to turn heel, I'm happy that Cody didn't turn heel there because as you could clear as day, it all fizzled out. And when John was able to turn it around at SummerSlam and be like, boom, I'm a babyface now, only John Cena could do that type of stuff. Cody wouldn't be able to go like, I'm a babyface again immediately without any kind of big story change.
Agree. Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? And one thing I want to point out as well is where people are worried about this is, and I find it the most interesting, is Cody's going to get booed against Randy. Yeah. Cody got booed against John Cena at SummerSlam, and he still was able to maintain his babyface thing. And I would like to point this out. Cody has been doing tweener, heely things for a long time lately. He's done the belt to Drew to get DQ'd. He's literally choked out John Cena with the ropes at SummerSlam. He's done a lot of heely type things in the ring anyway, and he still comes out as a babyface. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen here at Mania match. He's going to be the babyface, do heel things against Randy, and still be a babyface. Can I say something? Is this a safe place?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I think Cody's going to beat Randy at Mania, though.
Okay. Talk to me about that.
The man has lost multiple Manias back. You can't have him lose more Manias back to back and all that kind of stuff. Can't do that.
I don't know, man. I go back to Cena's repertoire of Mania matches. There was a stretch where the man was losing. The man was losing Mania matches.
But this isn't Cena. This is Cody, baby.
It's kind of Cena. It's kind of Cena.
He's QB1, dude. You can look. You know the NFL sweating bullets right now that Mahomes is not winning championships. They're like, is it trade over for Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift and Kelsey? No way. We already passed that. I just feel for the momentum for Cody to overcome this obstacle. And this is the same feeling I had about Drew McIntyre too. This is where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from as a Cody fan. I'm not coming from a Randy hater. I'm coming from the aspect of that Drew McIntyre did a lot of heinous things against Cody Rhodes. And at the end of the day, Cody beat Drew. So the question for you, Santi, is this the first half, quarter one between Randy and Cody that's going to go all the way to SummerSlam or even further? Or is it ending here? Is the end game here for Cody versus Randy at Mania?
I think it would be a mistake to end it here. This is the big money feud that so many people have been waiting for. And when I look at the landscape of SmackDown, that's the feud I want to see right now. And I don't want it to necessarily just boom end at WrestleMania. I do think that this has legs to be the summer blockbuster if they really wanted it to be. I'm not saying that it has to be Cody Randy every single pay-per-view. You could still throw in Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre in there in the mix every now and then. You have the ability to keep Cody Rhodes off of a card because you have King of the Ring coming up. But I do think that the end play here ought to be Randy Orton. Hell, you could even have Cody win here at WrestleMania, and then maybe he drops it at I don't know, Clash in Italy, maybe, right? Where they're gonna love Randy with that entrance theme in Europe. Maybe he loses it at Clash in Italy, and then it goes back to Cody at SummerSlam. You could do that if you wanted to. I do think that there is room for a little bit of ping-ponging back and forth of the title between these two, especially with what you want, which is Randy getting to 17. A little bit of ping-ponging helps those numbers.
Here's my fear, though. If Cody does lose at Mania, what does that mean for Cody? What's his track to getting back to the title picture?
He's Cody. That's his track. I'm sorry. Like, it doesn't have to be deeper than that. He's QB1.
But what does QB1 want? QB1 was in how many gimmick matches these past year going after the title again? Was back in the Royal Rumble. Was back in the Elimination Chamber. That means you're going to put him back in King of the Ring, man. Because that's his way to SummerSlam.
It's true. Yeah, like it could be putting him back into King of the Ring. It could be maybe he wins Money in the Bank. I don't know. I know that's after SummerSlam.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare put that out there. This is the second podcast in a row. The second podcast in a row. The first one you were like, oh, you know, Trick Willie looks really, really good with the Money in the Bank. And now you are here. Adrenaline in my soul.
All right, not my best idea.
Rose got the Money in the Bank. This is what you want.
Not my best idea.
This is what you want.
No, it's not what I want. I'm just saying. There's things to do.
Do you know how desperate I am, Santi? Do you know what's the first thing I did when I played WWE 2K26, code provided by 2K? Thank you so much. You know what's the first thing I did?
What did you do?
I got LA Knight on Universe mode, and you know what I did, brother? I put it on Legendary, and guess what I did? I went and gave that man a Money in the Bank opportunity, and guess who I cashed it in on, by the way? Oh, it scared me. It scared me. It was Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre on a random SmackDown. And all of a sudden, Drew beats Seth. And he's like, because you hit the button before, you pick what you're going to do. You're going to cash in before the match, during the match, or after. And I put after the match thinking like, oh, something's going to happen where they're going to get like really, really beat up. But no, Drew McIntyre convincingly beats Seth. And he's the champion. He's standing tall. I'm like, oh my God, here comes LA Knight to cash in on a standing Drew McIntyre. He hits him in the back of the head with a briefcase. I'm like, sick, here I go. I'm lining up the BFT, right? I go for the kick and Drew grabs my leg. And I'm like, oh no, I get reversed.
Real life. Real life. That's what would happen.
And then I dodge. I luckily was able to do Legendary, by the way. Reverse a Claymore and hit my BFT for the win. But hey, undisputed title holder in WWE 2K26 LA Knight, baby. And he looks good with it. He looks great with it. I got feuds with AJ. I got feuds with Cody. I had a feud with Roman. I'm living the life over here in my digital world. You know what I mean?
Hey, second life. Sancho needs a second life for his second life. He's going to start playing 2K within 2K to make LA Knight the world champion. That's what's going to end up happening here.
Yeah. And I love it. And I absolutely love it. You can't shake me. It's like, what is it? Cypher in the Matrix. I know the stake's not real, but ignorance is bliss, my friend. I'm living the life. You know who's not living the life?
Who?
Cody Rhodes. Because he has Randy Orton on his tail.
Dude.
Why hasn't Randy Orton never been one of those WWE slasher type characters? He would have been a sick movie character, the stalker type of killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, instead they went with the current mayor of Glenn County or whatever, the Knox County. His name is Glenn. Kane. Anyway, is what I'm getting at. Dude, I loved how bloody that was. I know it was a little bit over the top, but whatever. I do believe that blood at the right time can tell a really great story. I do think that sometimes doing blood when it's unnecessary can kind of make you groan.
They blurred it. They blurred it on Netflix.
Oh,
you go back to the VOD.
Oh, interesting. Wow, I haven't gone back to the VOD. It's blurred. That's kind of crazy.
Right?
Weird. You know what? Funny enough, going back to watch that, I feel like that would kind of create like intrigue. Like, oh, what? It's so bad they blurred it. Let me look for it on social media. Maybe it's not a bad idea to do that, but I guess in the preservation of the content, I do think that that's actually problematic in the long term. Anyways, I loved how brutal and how violent it was. One of the things that I said during my live stream is that it felt like I needed to open a bag of Doritos Sweet Chili Heat, drink full calorie Monster, and start playing Modern Warfare 2 because we were back in 2009, baby. It felt like I needed to go to a LAN party after what happened there with Randy Orton because it just felt like we were back to 2009. So much so that on Monday Night Raw, Randy Orton is filming filming an interview, and he's using like a 2009 BlackBerry to film it. I don't know what the hell that was. Who do you think he was on the phone with, Sancho?
I don't know why people are overcomplicating it, because he said what wrestling has more than one royal family, right?
Ted DiBiase Jr. Yeah,
no,
let's go. Hey, you do get a call from prison. You know, you do get one call. Maybe he called Randy.
I guess. It's not Ric Flair. It's not Ted DiBiase Jr. It's his father,
Cowboy Bob Orton.
He's calling. He's the third generation superstar.
Randy's a third generation. Were you watching around when Cowboy Bob Orton with the cast was feuding with The Undertaker and Randy Orton, and he was like Randy's valet? It was really great. It was awesome. The problem was, Sancho, I guess it's not a problem then. It's a problem now that I maybe want to discuss. If it is Cowboy Bob Orton, to what degree? Because Cowboy Bob Orton was like early 50s during that. He is 75 now. He is a much older man. To what degree can you involve Cowboy Bob Orton? I don't know. But I remember the last time we had Cowboy Bob Orton, it was actually pretty sweet. It actually was.
So here's the thing that I present to you. They're presenting on target for Cody to go after too. I'm telling you, Cody's going to do Healy things in this feud too. And people are going to accept it because that's just babyface Cody. I think what you need to do for this match, I know it's interesting to start it off with a gimmick right away, but make it a bull rope match, dude. Knock it out of the park. That's like what the Cody's dad's all known about. Cowboy Bob as well. Put it all together. Make it a bull rope match.
I could see that happening eventually. And I do think that, I think this match warrants a stipulation of some sort. Don't you think? Like, with how violent and brutal that was. I don't want them to make the mistake that they did at WrestleMania 25, where the buildup of Triple H and Randy Orton is so nasty, brutal, blood feud, blood everywhere, punting Stephanie McMahon, kissing her while Triple H is handcuffed, breaking into his home, breaking into each other's homes, only for the match to be, hey, Triple H, if you get disqualified during the match, you lose the title. What a terrible stipulation that is for a blood feud, by the way. That killed the match in what was a great buildup. I hope that that's not the case here. I hope that they just let the boys play, you know?
What do you want?
I wouldn't mind Hell in a Cell.
Ooh.
There were rumors. There were rumors that they were planning on originally doing Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell to blow off their feud for the WWE Championship. So somebody there has the brain to do Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. We haven't seen Hell in a Cell since Bad Blood 2024, so it's been a while. It's a gimmick that's been gone for a hot minute. All of this blood, man, this history between these two, I think it warrants it.
Or Elimination Chamber 1v1. Remember that idea we had?
I love it. I love it. They're both in the pods, and all of the pods except theirs start opening. Yes, cinema.
Yes.
Actual literal cinema. A lumberjack match. There's no one around.
This is what we came up with. The 3 stages of hell. That could have been better than Drew and Cody's 3 stages of hell.
All right, Royal Rumble main event. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton. Royal Rumble match. Randy comes out at number 1. Cody at 25. So Randy just has to wait between 1 through 25, all of the countdowns, and there's still 5 more countdowns after they're both in the ring. and Cody eliminates Randy over the top rope, but there's still 2 more countdowns. So Cody just has to wait for those countdowns to be officially declared the winner.
That reminded me of what happened at Chamber in December to Dismember, where Bobby Lashley was just waiting for Big Show's pod to open. Like, just open the pod. Just open it. Just get it over with. Open the pod. What a weird Chamber. You know what that greatest sin in that one is getting rid of crowd favorites early. You can never do that in a gimmick match. Never get rid of RVD and CM Punk.
Yeah, and an ECW Extreme Elimination Chamber with 2 non-ECW guys, by the way. Bobby in the final 2, and Bobby Lashley and Big Show. Yeah, man, that was a mess of a time.
That's why Santos was pissed off, dude, at Reyes de Reyes. I'm convinced Santos sandbagged that on purpose.
Dude, he was sandbagging the whole match. Yeah, man.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Look at the whole field. You had La Parca, and then you have both Americanos. He's probably like, I'm out.
Yeah. I think he knows that. I was believing that maybe he got concussed, but the more I think about it, I think he probably was just sandbagging. All right, so overall temperature check. I think that we're both pretty pleased with the Randy Orton heel turn. I think it ultimately came out really well. I think it looked good. I think you already mentioned it, it created the conversation as to what should be the night 2 main event, which I love. I love that there's a conversation. I love that maybe even within the company, there's going to be internal rivalry of like, hey, let's step our game up to make this conversation even louder. I still think it's probably a lock that they're going to run Roman and Punk as the night 2 main event. But if I'm Randy and Cody, I still want people to see my match as the night 2 main event. You know what I mean? I still want to be seen as the one that should have been night 2, even if I don't get night 2. That's kind of where I think we could what we could be seeing here with Roman and Cody. I want to quickly transition to something that is still adjacent to this, to what we're talking about, which is Punk and Roman Reigns. I actually kind of want to like maybe do a tip of the cap to you, because you got clowned and dunked on a lot for saying maybe we don't need Roman and Punk every single week talking to one another. And I disagreed respectfully. I thought a lot of people disagreed very disrespectfully to you. I thought people were saying some really heinous stuff to you just because of that opinion. And do you feel a little bit of validation here? Because I really felt like that third promo, let's call it fourth promo in the program, we'll include the Usos and the Punk promo because that was fantastic. They were 3 for 3. And then we got to this promo, and I feel like maybe you were right, that they've run out of material and or the material that actually could have made the conversation interesting, the history that they might not be willing to dive into. And because they're not willing to dive into it, created the most roundabout, talking in a circle, non-promo that really didn't do much. Because you want me to believe as a fan that after Roman was so insulted by what Roman did, that it brought out the Usos, that it made Roman put a message in a bottle to the entirety of the bloodline. Hey, you guys all can get your shots at CM Punk before or after WrestleMania. You're telling me that the big return line from Roman was "you're old," and that worked at rage baiting CM Punk, at attacking him? It seems like a big disconnect, right? I'm going to bury you in your father or next to your father, and the follow-up is "you're old, LOL." I don't know. I don't want to necessarily say, yep, that's it, Sancho is 100% right, but I think there is credence to what you were saying a couple of weeks ago, as he's mogging, as he's giving me the Chad face right now. He's mewing over here. Man's just the Rizzler. Let him hear it, Sancho. Let him hear it.
Ooh, brother. Look, man, it's simple. I look at things on a bigger scale. And when you use, the simplest thing is you hit level 15 right away. And you can't go any further than that unless you're going to have brawls and fights. And of course, at their age, both 40 and 47, you can't have them fight right away. You're going to give away the juice to Sauce at Mania. And so when they introduced the Usos, and I was like, ooh, they're prolonging this. They're delaying this. This is awesome. And then that whole entire night, Roman goes back to the Tribal Chief, backstage segments. All those things are working for me because then he did that call to arms to the bloodline. Like, hell yeah. And you're right. I was vindicated. Because when you run out of things to say, you go back to dumb promos from Wrestling Basic 101. And even they did the cardinal sin of Wrestling 101. Never say your opponent's old, because if your opponent beats you, you got beat by an old man. I don't know what they were thinking. At the bottom, the end of the day, Santi, my biggest thing was, you nailed it. Just get out. George Costanza, brother. Good night, everybody. You don't have to do anything more. And what revealed itself is people now are saying that Roman's not a good promo, that CM Punk, this is the issues that you didn't want to run into going into Mania. And then all of a sudden, Santi, from that night of the segment, people are going like, oh, this is night one. Like, wait a minute. The biggest part of Monday Night Raw was Roman calling for the bloodline. To all my cousins, to the bloodline, you should be disrespected, what Punk said. Before and after Mania, he's all yours. But at Mania, he's mine. And I thought this was going to be a great way to introduce more heinous things for CM Punk's family. And when I thought about it, Santi, I was like, what could they have done? I thought maybe Roman could have done Bloodline Rules. You're like, hey, I'm going to challenge you to Bloodline Rules. If you want to come at me, you want to step up to the Tribal Chief, I thought it'd be sick. A little Bloodline Rules.
It's gonna be Bloodline Rules. It's gonna be you. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be the final boss. It's gonna be Bloodline Rules.
And even it didn't have to deal with Larry. I know people are like, "Ooh, they could have gotten into the Larry stuff."
Sure.
They could easily have gone into what Roman was saying earlier. I'm a full-time dad. I'm a family man. This is not my priority. That's my priority. He could have said, CM Punk, look at you. Where's your family? A little bit crossing the line, but valid.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at, right? Crossing the line.
It's a valid response. You say, you're going to be buried with who? Your dog, right? Even that, right? That would have been crazy,
shit,
right?
That would have been a great line. At least I'm going to be buried with family. Who are you going to get buried with? Your dog? Oh my, Sancho, that would have been a sick line.
Right? Would it be like, ooh. But you're right. They're afraid to go that deep. They're afraid to go into things that are a little bit darker. But I would argue it back that this program doesn't need any more layers. Build out the rest that you like, unlock the level of this world, open world, that you could explore now. Explore the bloodline. Bring in Jimmy. Bring in Jay. Bring in Sammy. Bring in Solo. Bring up Jacob Fatu, which I'm hoping they do on SmackDown. Bring in all these guys to now build this feud out, because what's more badass for CM Punk fans out there, if CM Punk said, yeah, you're right, I did disrespect your family, and what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I'm not afraid of the bloodline. Call Dwayne. I don't care. If you want to use government names, how about call Dwayne?
Oh,
you're right. Right? See, there's like now CM Punk is back to being CM Punk, dude, the rebel, the guy who's not afraid of authority, the guy who would go to TKO and board members and just cause a ruckus. He could come out next week by himself to sit down and do his pipe bomb stance and cut a promo on the bloodline themselves, and that would be a crazy pipe bomb. But this is not a Roman problem. This is not Roman saying you're old. This is WWE creative realizing that it hit a stopping point, and they were like, where can we go? Let's just go here for now. It's not a big deal. I know, Santi, we said this before in this podcast last year. There's things that they can edit out for that video package. They're going to edit this out.
Of course.
It's not going to matter. They're going to edit it out, and we're going to go skip this entire segment here.
I think there is a added level of pressure and expectation of this segment when you put it in the main event. After what was a really great episode of Monday Night Raw, I think partly would have been alleviated if this had have opened the show without Punk. If it was a promo out there, like the show starts, Roman answering back, and the end of the promo is the call to arms to the bloodline, and that's how you open the show, whoo, way better, right? Because now for the rest of the show, it's like, what, is there somebody from the bloodline that's going to show up on this episode? Yada, yada. And then you end it with Obafemi and the Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins thing. I think they got their priorities a little bit backwards there. I don't think that Roman and Punk, if they didn't have anything of, you said level 15, that's where they were at. If they didn't have anything to take this to level 16 or 17, open the show. Because then it's perfectly fine to stay at the same level if you're just going to open the show. But there is a psychological expectation of like, what do you got next? If you're going to be on the main event segment again, how are you going to follow up that amazing opening? But wait, there's more. Can't wait for Scary Movie 6, by the way. But yeah, I just wanted to make that conversation early on in the show.
Give me my flowers.
Did I not? Did I not?
No, that's what you want to do. You want to give me my flowers.
I think after I dunked on you for the beginning of the show, justifiably because of Obafemi, that felt really good, by the way. It feels so good to be vindicated and to prove you wrong. I'm sure it felt good to be vindicated and be proven right in this scenario. So it's only fair that you get your moment.
That was a very going out on a limb type of situation, because of course you want to see more of this. And don't get me wrong, it was delicious when we got it. But I saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah, I think people misunderstood what you were saying. I think people believe that you were saying, I don't need to see this again. I don't need to see more conversations. I don't need to see more between Roman and Punk. When I don't think that's inherently what you were saying.
I didn't want to see 1v1 promos anymore, because as you can see, that it could step in itself. It could fumble.
Yeah.
You're exposing something that when someone said Roman can't improv, I was like, what are you talking about? Look at that first segment. He literally brought up the podcast, and that was like a holy shit moment between Roman and Punk. Like, oh my God, he went there. There's good juice from Roman. It's just right here. They ran out of juice.
Yeah.
Juice.
Yeah. I think they squeezed a lot, right? And now they gotta find a different lemon. Do you make lemonade out of lemons, or is it limes? No, it's lemon. Lemonade.
Limeade.
Limeade is different, right? Limeade is
Yeah.
different. Okay.
Like those awesome videos you see of people like making the like at the trains.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Dude, so much juice.
so much use.
All right. Well, let's move on here. I know we opened the show with it, but I do think it's the next major talking point. I do want to talk about Obafemi and the Brock Lesnar segment. I thought you're on the train. Your general admission. So you're allowed to have conversations. You're just not allowed to enjoy Oba on your live streams. I thought that was part of the fine print. You're still not allowed to enjoy it, but you're allowed to have conversations about it on the pod. I just want to make I want to make this clear. Continue to go to Sancho's reactions and say not allowed.
No,
he's still
wait a minute.
You didn't read the fine print? Oh, you didn't know?
It's like I bought like the regular video game. I didn't get the premium.
Yeah, you got to buy the DLC here, brother.
Oh,
you're free to play right now. That's where you're at. You got to pay to win.
Oh no.
So please continue, even though it helps his algorithm, which is good for the show, continue to leave the not allowed messages because he's still not allowed.
Put an asterisk. Put an asterisk.
Yeah, let him.
Except on the pod.
Not allowed -GA, general admission. Okay, let's talk about Obafemi here for a second and everything that went down. I really like the misdirection play at the beginning. I thought I was really willing to accept Seth and Brock. And not because it's what I wanted, but because I felt like we were in a position where this is the best scenario of our terrible situation of Braun Breaker not being available. It felt to me like, okay, they just know that Braun Breaker's not available. This is a good thing that then we're just going to do Brock Lesnar and Seth now so we can actually build to it, as opposed to waiting for those open challenges and then making the decision later down the line. I'm glad that, okay, cool. It's not my ideal situation, but let's make the best of it. I'm willing to accept it. Brock Lesnar killing the masked men was highly entertaining. And then him facing down with Seth Rollins. Once we got to that moment, I'm like, all right, I can be convinced of this. I know it's not what we want, but
you accepted it.
I've accepted it. I've accepted it. And rather
it's like you go to a restaurant and they go, "Do you have a Diet Coke?" And like, "No, we got Pepsi." You're like, all right, I'll take a Diet Pepsi.
Yeah, dude. You know what's crazy? Like when you have you seen like videos? I remember like a news story of just like the local Popeyes has run out of chicken. How do you run out of chicken if your whole thing is you're a chicken place? You know?
No,
I don't think this is a situation where we ran out of chicken. I do think that this is a Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi situation.
Yeah. You go, okay, I'll take it.
All right, I suppose. Yeah, I'll take it. And then the lights go off, and then Oba's music hits.
Here comes Diet Coke.
Oh, the Diet Coke came out, brother. And woo! No, they hit. You thought that they only had Diet Pepsi because the last time you went to the restaurant, they didn't have the Diet Coke. Yeah. And then you're like, I guess I'll take the Diet Pepsi. And they're like, but wait, we have Diet Coke. It actually did come out. And out comes Obafemi. Couple of things about this whole thing. Thunderous crowd reception. San Antonio made that moment. I still think it would have been great without the crowd, but the crowd elevated this to really make it feel special.
Sure.
And then obviously there's Oba. He's Oba. He made his part look great. I need to give so many flowers here to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar sold this from beginning to end. From Oba's entrance, like the shock and fear in his face, his body language no longer spoke the like, I'm the beast, the scariest guy in the WWE. His chest wasn't puffing out. I know that it was probably because of the suplexing the dudes, but this like sweat that was on him also kind of made it look like he was sweating in fear. That might be just me looking into things, right? And then the whole thing with like the most insane bump that I've seen Lesnar take in a long time. I haven't seen him take a bump like this. I can't remember since when. A bump
Keith Lee?
Did he take I don't know that he took a fall from grace or a spirit bomb from Keith Lee. I don't think that he did. Drew's a Claymore, right? So like it's not yeah. I'm thinking like literally Taker, like back in the day when he used to do the last ride. Maybe Goldberg with his jackhammer.
Jackhammer, right? Yeah, that's it. That's it.
basically what I'm saying is that everything came into play really well, including production, and it made that moment incredibly special. Right down, did you catch that Lesnar told Oba, "Put your foot on my chest,"
and he held it.
Yeah. He's like, come on, let's make this moment. I think there is something special about when Brock Lesnar wants to play ball. I think it's because we see it so rarely where he doesn't want to play ball. He doesn't want to put people over.
Braun Strowman.
But when we see it, when he wants to play ball, when he wants to put somebody over, oh my God, is he good at it. The last time I saw something like this in terms of putting somebody over was what? Rumble 20 with Drew McIntyre? And look at that insane moment that created, that catapulted him instantly as a top main eventer to main event WrestleMania. If Brock is on board, it means Heyman's on board. And if Brock and Heyman are on board, it tells me WWE is ready to strap a rocket to this dude. I would not be surprised, Sancho, if Oba is the last person Brock Lesnar faces. If it's literally just Oba versus Lesnar at Mania and Oba versus Lesnar at SummerSlam again. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lesnar loses both of them and does the job to Oba in both scenarios. It goes back to what Cena had said, like, hey, I set up Lesnar to look as scary as he did so that when that next guy comes in and vanquishes Lesnar, it's going to be even more special. This might be it. This could be that thing that Cena was talking about and setting up, which kind of goes back to the fact that they even featured Oba in the retirement show to begin with. This is special, man. I think this was a really, really special moment. I think this is going to be one of those play at your Hall of Fame induction moments type of things for Oba Femi.
I like the big detail that Oba felt that too in his bones, because he let out a tear because he was just overwhelmed with emotion, and he had to fight back of expressing that emotion and being the ruler at the same time. All the elements are there for success. I'm just hoping that the fan base doesn't throw it all away if he doesn't win at Mania. You gotta be patient with Oba Femi's rise, because you gotta give this dude some obstacles. And if he runs into one like he did at the Rumble where he gets thrown out because he's a rookie, that's the obstacle that the WWE gave us. What's the obstacle that they're going to give us at Mania? If it is a total domination, that's fine. But I'm interested to see, and for the sake of Oba Femi, is he needs to find an obstacle to overcome when he hits a wall, like a friction. And when I say things like, hey, be patient with him, it's not because I don't want to see this guy being awesome throughout the gate. Is I feel that there's a lot of fans out there that are willing to jump off the train, to keep the metaphor going, if he doesn't win at Mania.
If you jump off the train, we don't accept people back in. You're either on or you're not.
But that's unfair to Oba Femi. Does that make sense? Of course, the expectations are now for him to beat Brock Lesnar. But you still can't discount or count out Brock Lesnar at Mania.
Yeah, it's Brock Lesnar at the end of the day. I think it depends, Sancho. I think it depends on what WWE wants to do and what they're looking to replace at the end of the day. Do they want Oba Femi to be a main event guy, or do they want Oba Femi to have the Brock Lesnar role with Brock Lesnar retiring? Because they're going to be losing that attraction, that big scary thing. So you're saying, hey, I need Oba to find that obstacle. What I'm suggesting perhaps WWE might be doing is that there's no obstacle. He is the obstacle, which is what Brock Lesnar ultimately ended up becoming right from his early days. He did have some obstacles with Heyman betraying him, shit like that. But always, even from day one, with making Hulk Hogan bleed out, making Austin take his ball and go home, beating The Rock, he was the obstacle. And there hasn't been another guy like that that's been the obstacle. And they're about to lose that guy for good at SummerSlam. And it could be a situation where I think we're used to finding okay, where's the vulnerability in this guy? When I think that it's possible that the character that they want to create is the guy with no vulnerability because he is the obstacle. And for better or for worse, that might not be a great path to go in. That might not be a very interesting path to go in, but there is going to be a vacuum left with that role being gone forever from the WWE with Brock Lesnar.
I guess the two things I have for that is, man, it was on the tip of my mind about, the whole thing about Obafemi, he has to find the next person to dance with. That's important. His follow-up feud with after Brock has to be someone who's willing to put him over just as much as Brock did. And I think Brock, by doing that, gives the green light for a veteran to do that too, right? So someone would be like, "Oh, what? You can't put Oba over because for freaking Brock put him over." The second thing is what I wanted to point out is this can't be a Gunther 2.0 type of situation where Gunther did the craziest thing and tapped out Cena, right? I had to bring this up. It's a part of the whole thing. He tapped out Cena, and then Gunther does AJ, right? AJ Styles. And then we're here 4 weeks out going, what's going with Gunther? That can't be the trajectory for Obafemi where he beats Brock and then the WWE doesn't follow through with it. This is the most important part of the journey. Gunther not having anything 4 weeks out of Mania is slowing him down. I like Dragon Lee. I respect Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee did great things against Penta in that IC title, but that's not the launching point after Cena, AJ, Dragon. It could have kept going further and launching us into greater heights, because I was going to make a video about this, is the Gunther bubble is growing and I don't see anyone in sight that's going to pop it. And I don't think that WWE has realized that they shackled Gunther into this corner of being a career killer when Santi, we just brought back the legend killer.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying there. I mean, it goes back to something that kind of vindicates me, something I said a while ago, that the career killer moniker and gimmick is not scalable. There is going to be a ceiling on the amount of people that you can retire. And people are like, there's always people to retire. No, no, there isn't. You know, there's not always people retiring at WrestleMania. There's not always people retiring at PLEs. And the problem with the career killer thing, Sancho, is that when all of a sudden you have a feud that isn't killing a career, all of a sudden it looks like a downgrade. Because if you were to put, let's say it was Gunther versus Javon Evans. On paper, hell yeah, man. I think people would be down for that match as a WrestleMania program. But what happened? You created the moniker of the career killer of Gunther, killing Goldberg, killing Cena, killing AJ Styles. So now to go and have a regular feud against the guy that's there on a regular basis in what would be a very good match and probably a good program now looks like a downgrade for Gunther. That to me is a problem. Now that Ray is not available for WrestleMania allegedly, what does Gunther do? They can do something, they can find something, but if it's not killing a career, it'll be looked upon like a downgrade for people, unfortunately. And that's the ceiling, the bottleneck of the career killer moniker for Gunther. I'm curious what parallels you see there with Oba, because I can see like, okay, where does it go from Lesnar? Where does it go from freaking Lesnar? I try to think about what they did with Lesnar back in the day, right? Because like, dude, he bled out Hulk Hogan. He made Hulk Hogan pass out. Where does it go from there? I mean, they went to The Rock. He beat him. Then they went to Taker. They beat him. But like, I don't know that we're in an era where Obafemi can go from those types of names beating them all like Lesnar did back in the day. I think there were more names willing to put him over, except Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is ironic that Brock Lesnar put over Oba on Austin 316 Day when Austin refused to put over Lesnar back in the day.
So that's where I come back in and say we just got to be really patient, because if that timeline, then Oba would go after the Cody, the Randy, the Drews.
That's the next play, right? That would be like your natural transition.
Right. He would go after that, or he would go after a title. And right now you're looking at the title pictures landscape. I mean, Penta, that'd be rough pill to swallow. He wanted to go after Penta. It'd be a damn good match, but it
King of the Ring.
Penta, King of the Ring. But then that goes back to the title picture, and then, then he's gonna either go up against Roman, which is a possibility, or Randy, or Cody, or CM Punk. So there's like, it's a logical leap to go from Lesnar to CM Punk.
Sure.
Absolutely. But is the WWE willing to do that? I'm not sure. I think what they're going to do, when you look at that, when you start putting the picture together, is to give him Brock Lesnar again at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's where I was at too. I do think you made a really great point. Like, how can you say no to putting Oba over if Lesnar put him over? I think that's a big vote of confidence that has like a 2-year staying power, at the very minimum, where people are just gonna have to, you're gonna have to play ball here with Oba to make this work.
Nah, I think I should beat Oba. No. He's power scaled. He's power scaled to peak right now, and there's only a few air that could beat him.
Can I mention this? Obviously, I don't know what's going on in conversations backstage or anything like that. All I have is what's on screen and what I can see. Does this not feel like the absolute worst timed injury for Braun Breaker? Because not only is it struggling to help build his match at WrestleMania, but it's opened the door for the other dominant young guy who is upstaging him at every pace in his career when they were both at a couple months into the main roster. Like Oba has completely upstage Braun Breaker, if you ask me, as the next young gun, the guy that WWE is going to build around. And I think the Braun Breaker injury is part of what opened the door here. It's part of what opened the door here, brother.
Well, I don't. This is a deeper conversation. I think.
Yeah.
It's the fourth man that Seth Rollins has become. That fourth guy that could never be the guy, because there's always a CM Punk or a Roman that comes in that takes over Seth Rollins' thunder. Like Rollins has always been the chip on the shoulder. I'm the guy that is always going to be here. I'm the fighting champion. So much to the point that it broke his body. So where Drew's like, look at you, Seth. You're always after the spotlight, Seth. Right? That was the whole thing for that ride. Right? That's what happened with Drew and Seth. So Braun Breaker was latched onto that boat of Seth Rollins. And that was going to be the launching point for Braun Breaker to hit that main event through the Rollins path. And unfortunately, that whole thing just collapsed on itself and it burned down, to use the pun. And they're all done. And I don't think this is a thing about Braun Breaker. And this is the thing that when we talk about NXT guys coming over, like look at Tony D'Angelo, right? It all depends on what boat they attach this guy to. Javon Evans, I think, it was interesting in the Patreon. Someone goes, ooh, they were digging at me about Oba. And they're like, you said Javon's going to be bigger than Oba. I'm like, well, look at Javon. He is in a program with Kofi Kingston. Like, that's a solid path for him to go to and grow and mature and unfortunately find like a Mania feud. So I'm just thinking it all depends. I don't think this is, to answer your question, kind of like, oh, Braun Breaker, bad timing type of situation. I think it's more they put him in a type of venue that is not as guaranteed as Oba tying his boat to Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The Brock Lesnar boat definitely makes ships rise significantly faster, and that's why so many people wanted Oba. But the thing is, with the Brock Lesnar, like being hitched to the Brock Lesnar vote, it'll either elevate you or it'll eat you alive. Like that's what happened. What would have happened with LA Knight? I don't think that LA Knight could have done this, right? I don't think LA Knight would have gotten the same reverence from fans had they, heard LA Knight. What is LA Knight gonna powerbomb Brock Lesnar? No, right? It needed the right player. Funny enough, I do think that in a different timeline, Braun Breaker could have been that player had they attached him to the Brock Lesnar push as opposed to a Seth Rollins push. I think that Braun Breaker could have potentially been in this situation. It's just interesting, like I'm so curious, in the grand scheme of things, how much this injury will impact the timeline of things. I don't think it'll be Finn Balor's torn labrum level of shifting the timeline, but it opened the door, right? And all Oba Femi needed was a little crack in the door. He didn't need the full door open because Oba, with his own presence, his own presentation, he jarred that thing completely open, and it demanded this opportunity. Quite frankly, it demanded that fans wanted Oba versus Brock, even though that was not the original plan. And I think part of that demand,
we got worked.
You think we got worked? It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible we got worked.
They kept putting Oba far away from Brock, and they kept teasing us with like him doing other things that were so well below Brock level. We're like, what is he doing with Kit? What is he doing with Johnny Gargano? He should be doing more. We want more. We want Brock. 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 Grows. Do
you think WWE puts out these rumors?
You want Brock? You got him.
Do you think WWE purposely puts out these rumors, like leaks them, and just kind of like sees reception? Like, hey, we're interested in Knight versus Brock. Let's leak it. Let's let the Sean Ross Sapps of the world, per Fightful, do the whole report and just kind of gauge engagement. It's not a bad idea, and just kind of gauge reception.
The old Fortnite play. That's what Fortnite does. They leak possible collabs.
Hey, as per Fightful, Sancho West icon skin rumored. Everybody goes, boo, no, we don't want that. They cancel it.
Yeah, exactly. We got The Rock's back in Fortnite.
Oh, he's back in Fortnite? Nice.
He's reprising the role as the Foundation brother. He's going against the Ice King in the new chapter, season 2.
Oh, that's sick.
2. Yeah, dude, The Rock, baby.
Nice.
The Rock collecting paychecks. Does you think that this leads to The Rock coming back to the WWE?
I mean, Fortnite is an indicator of things that might come. Who knows? Maybe. I did see that they increased the V-Bucks prices. I saw that floating around. Well, I mean, there was ever a recession indicator, brother. It's that one right there.
You pay more and you get less V-Bucks. You pay the same, but you get less V-Bucks. So that's why it's like,
of course, yeah.
Shrinkflation.
Yeah. It is a shrinkflation of V-Bucks. And Sancho, I personally will not stand by it. I think that is a heinous business practice. And I stand with the Fortniters out there that it is disgusting.
Did you see what the WWE did? We thought about the different panic buttons. So they gave us what we got with Oba Brock, but did you see their other panic button that they pressed? The classic tale is time when your business is not doing well. You gave a discounted sale of 31.6% off.
Yeah, dude, they are trying so hard. They're trying so hard to move these tickets. And I saw that it's like 31.6% off for like every show. It was like every show between now and WrestleMania, and then a few after WrestleMania as well. Like I think going all the way up to Backlash. I think Backlash, it's 31.6% off. At Backlash,
but that's where the ticket should be.
Yeah. You're just bringing it down to price to where it ought to be. I agree with you.
And then they lifted the blackouts from the watch parties around the Vegas.
I didn't see that. That's true.
Yeah, you can watch at a pool table. Yeah, at a pool party. Boom, 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 boom.
That's cool. Boom. That's cool. I think it's a good idea.
I would never go to a day club pool. No.
I do think that that's a Vegas thing.
I could see you there at a date. Yeah.
Just
2 drinks.
I am a day pool drinker kind of guy.
Choo-ka-doo. Oh no. Oba beat Brock.
I did like especially for WrestleMania, right? Like to me it doesn't make sense to do the blackouts locally in Vegas cuz you would want people, like let's say you haven't sold out night 2, right?
Yeah.
I think logic would say, okay, like if you show night 1 at bars and disco clubs, if that's what they're still called, nightclubs, day pool clubs, whatever, that maybe night 1 is so fun that it could actually drive ticket sales for night 2. I just never understood that business practice of the blackout.
I never understood you not like being like the most watched TikToker and like advertise yourself as that, and being at Mania at some like convince some club guy like, hey, look, I have the most TikTok subscribers. Just put me up, and they have a little banner, and then watch WrestleMania with Santi.
Nah, I'm good. I'll watch it from home.
I'm surprised you haven't juiced yourself out like that. You know what I mean? Just like giving away all the goods. Instead, you sweat every time you see that man on screen. That man on screen gives you PTSD. You know who that is? Jelly Jam.
Jelly Jam, Mr. Sushi Roll himself, man. Mr. Sushi Roll. What do you think they're planning here for WrestleMania for Mr. Roll? Why? Why would it be LA Knight?
Why not? I got nothing else to do. LA Knight has nothing to do. He's out there literally begging for a spot with the Usos. Hey, I already have this feeling that I'm going to be regulated to the third chair in the hotel room. Is there any way that I could know that you're not a part of the bloodlines? I mean, I'm cool. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do our own thing. And LA Knight's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Yeah, I'm out. When that segment came, was the whole time I was like, dude, this is a banger Monday night. Where's LA Knight? LA Knight should be around the corner somewhere. And that's when we get, I'm like, oh boy. So why not give him Jelly? What's wrong?
Well, because
Jelly,
well, isn't Jelly already like? Are you not seeing like him something with The Miz, Kit Wilson, maybe Danhausen? The rumors of Royce Keys.
I don't know.
LA Knight doesn't fit in that.
Again, I'm on the outside looking in here. I'm just looking for a home for LA Knight. He's a good lad. He's potty trained. He makes sure he eats his food. He doesn't overeat. You know, he's not one of those dogs that eats so much that he starts going hoo, hoo, every now and then because he has so much air in him. He snuggles at night. He's a good guy. He just needs a home.
What would you realistically do for LA Knight at WrestleMania? What I think what do you do with him?
He's gonna have a run in.
That's it.
Have a run in.
He's gonna have the good old carrying cross spot this year.
No, don't do that to me. He's gonna get involved with the Usos in the Vision. That's his play. And then he's gonna walk out with both belts. He's gonna steal them for himself.
Would he help the Vision win?
Oh,
if the Usos are part of the bloodline, right?
Wait, are we untapping something here?
I mean, I think you're grasping at straws, hoping for something interesting. Girl, grasp away.
What if he comes out and you're like, oh, is he here to help the Usos? Is he here to help the Vision? Or we don't know. Bobby the Brain Heated would go, who is he here to help? Type of situation, like Hogan and be the third man. Out comes LA Knight be the third man for the Vision. Brother, that would help so much. You'd
help
be like,
who? Help who? Who is that helping? Brother, I get you're in a glaze recession right now. I understand. You're in a glazed recession. Prices of glaze are at an all-time low. Unfortunately, people are not buying the glaze. I get it. This is not the way to drive glaze sales. You're just finding anything and everything.
I could sell glaze to the Paulers. Come on, dude. Let the low gang, let me live. You know, I have no opportunity here. What do you want? The pressure? Come on, dude. Come on, dude. What did he say? What did he say to Paul Heyman?
He said something like, I'm going to be pressuring away, and then walks away. I don't know. It was something corny like that, where I think he used pressure as an adjective.
It's time for me to be the pressure. Something like that. And then Logan delivers by far as the best work in that segment, right? Comes back and brings everything back down reality. But I don't know what you could do with LA Knight. The options are running out. He's not the only one on the outside looking in right now. Like we mentioned, Gunther, outside looking in. Library of a Killer on the outside looking in. There's so many people on the outside looking in who've had great years in 2026. And one of those is Raquel Rodriguez. What is she going to do? Is she just going to be interference? You can't let Mr. Slim Jim miss Mania, okay? You can't do that.
I'm sure they'll find a way to get him on. Maybe he'll do the Bobby Lashley and pose with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy. Like, it's possible. Who knows? Maybe he runs into WrestleMania as one of the masked men, attacks Seth Rollins because he still has beef with Rollins. Let's not forget that. So, like, yeah, I mean, like, there is maybe some places to maneuver LA Knight here or there, but it's not looking great. I think Jelly Roll is most likely going to be working if he does have a Mania match with Kit Wilson, The Miz, maybe Danhausen, maybe Royce Keys. I see a lot of people saying like, oh my God, what a waste of a spot for Mania that would be. What a shame that this is getting on the card over some other stars that can't get on the card. And to that, I just have to remind people, first of all, Miz, Kit Wilson, Royce Keys, and Danhausen, they're WWE stars as well. All WWE stars that if they do get on the card, it'll be because Jelly Roll is working with them. And if you remove Jelly Roll from that, they're not on the card. Like, just straight up, right? So, like, that's the power of the celebrity involvement. And if that is how they're going to use Jelly Roll, I have to praise that, because I do think that that is an actual appropriate allocation of resources. Remember last year for going into SummerSlam, one of my critiques, which I still think stands, is that was a really, really high usage of main event resources for a celebrity match. Randy Orton, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, all three guys that could have independently had marquee matches at that show. A 2-night show, by the way, of SummerSlam. This time around, if it's Danhausen, Kate Wilson, The Miz, Royce Keys, that is the perfect allocation of resources for a celebrity match. And it's guys that are getting on the card, getting time because of the celebrity involvement of Jelly Roll. Once again, why I will die on the hill that this is nothing at all like Travis Scott. Sancho.
Up on the turnbuckle, Jelly goes. Up on the turnbuckle, out he jumps. It comes Santi with a bottle of oil. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Get ready, oil up.
I don't like that your song ended with squirt, 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 brother.
You get ready, Santi. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you gonna go on to like the dehydration diet right before Mania and pass out during the show?
I might have to, brother. I might have to get on that bomb dust again. I might need to get on everything in order to lose weight, man. I have to start getting physically ready. I have to start getting physically ready because this guy seems entirely determined to jump off the top rope. This guy has a massive tour right after like Mania and Backlash with Post Malone and Backlash, and I can see it in his eyes, man. He is willing to put that tour in jeopardy with an injury just to jump off the top rope. He is willing to put millions of dollars on the line just to oil up, which I don't know what that says about Jelly Roll the man, if he's just so into the memes of the community that, like, I mean, you got to appreciate that. Or maybe it just shows the power of the memes of our community that we're making this mega star, this multi-Grammy Award winner jump off the top rope just for the sake of delivering on the meme. This has layers, Sancho. This has layers.
We have too much power here, brother. Way too much power.
You have no power here, Jelly. It's all the memes.
Jelly, you're like, Jelly's like, I'm gonna jump off the top rope, Santi. You're like, you think this gives you power? Does that make you feel in charge, Jelly? I made you jump off the top rope because that's what I have the power I have.
Dude, that's some like end of Saw 1 twist reveal. I was the dead body in the bathroom all along. Yeah. The oil that you want to oil me up with, those were the keys to that tub. Game over or whatever, something like that. What a great movie. Saw 1 was really good. Like, it just as a standalone movie. I know I've watched all 10 of them. Technically 11. It is 10. No, 11 with Jigsaw, which a lot of people hated. I like Jigsaw. I actually did. But Saw 1, dude, that's a classic. That's a horror movie classic. More of a drama, if you ask me. More of a drama. More of a thriller. Whodunit type of deal. You can watch that even if you're not good with gore. Because there's not much of it in Saw 1. They had no budget for it. Saw 1 is fantastic. Saw 2 and beyond, there's gore. There's gore, brother. There's a lot of assumed gore. Because they cut away to a lot of like the nasty stuff happening. With like the classic 2000s, like when he's cutting off the foot. You know, his face, close up to the face as he's screaming. A lot of implied gore.
I'm telling you, dude. Randy's going to capture Cody.
He's going to cut off his foot.
No, you're gonna have Cody like this. They're gonna take the bag off, and Cody's gonna be like, "Ugh." And he's gonna sit there, and he's like, "So, what do you want to talk about?" He's gonna sit there.
Oh, Randy.
And then Randy's gonna have that light, and he's gonna be Randy Orton, dude. And he's like, "Hey, guess what? I got your golden boy." And then they're gonna do the implied gore of him cutting off the tattoo.
Oh my god, dude! You got clowned so hard for the tattoo across the board.
Hey, I don't care. It's sick. That's what I want.
You want to know like my problem with the whole tattoo thing is that like you mentioned it like, oh, the tattoo, And my reaction is like, I didn't even know that was there. So I think there's just like no emotional attachment to that tattoo. If he were to like cut out the neck tattoo, well, first of all, I think that'd be killing him and cutting his jugular. But that's a more iconic, visual. The neck tattoo over the little dream tattoo that I didn't even know was there.
Does Guile have the neck tattoo in Street Fighter?
I don't think so. Let me quickly Google that. They definitely have to cover that tattoo. Guile does not have tattoos. Guile Street Fighter.
You know what's crazy is like I don't even recognize that he has that tattoo anymore. Like it's just like I'm blind to it almost, even though it's like one of the biggest tattoos in a long time.
I'm looking at the Instagram photo of it, and he does not have the tattoo, so it's definitely been covered up. Funny enough, it's a very Guile tattoo, which like they could have like retconned it right to make it part of Guile, but then it kind of forces it's copyright. I didn't know that tattoos could be copyrighted. Isn't that kind of crazy? I didn't know that.
Did you know Danhausen's face paint is copyrighted too? He said that in the Chris Van Vliet interview.
I did see that.
He trademarked that mask. That's really smart of him because
very smart.
They're going to be everywhere. That dude, Danhausen's a merch slinger, man. He had the Danhausen cannon. I
mean, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant signing for WWE for like how they're using him. What the value that they see in him, because he is making advertisements entertaining, palatable, and must watch. Because he's just a walking ad, brother. That's all he is. He's a walking ad, but it bafflingly works. Like those commercial segments with Danhausen, when I post them on Instagram, some of the most viewed clips that I have, and it's just him selling his T-shirt. It's fascinating to see WWE bring somebody over from AEW that clearly just works so much better under the WWE umbrella than the AEW umbrella. That exists vice versa, of course, where there's people that clearly work better in the AEW world, like Ricochet, for example, versus the WWE world. But a match made in heaven in capitalism here. Match made in heaven in capitalism.
It's not even Halloween yet, too. That's when he's gonna like really excel. Because I remember in AEW, like they did a lot of Halloween spooky things with him, at least every once in a while. He's just gonna be awesome, dude. I just wonder, do people? This is another patient type of question. Is like, are they gonna be able to let him sling merch as long as possible and without getting in the ring? Because this is the risk you take. I'm sure WWE is like, well, we're doing so well without him in the ring. Why would we want to throw it away by putting him out there in the ring, and maybe he has a poor performance or the poor reaction? But the thing about Danhausen is that he could survive anything and keep pushing forward. He could even make a mockery of his own performance in the ring.
I mean, he survived the terrible reception of the unboxing, right? And he played into it. And Danhausen arrived to thunderous applause. Nothing but applause, right? So like you kind of hit it there. Like even if he goes out there and puts on a stinker, he could go out there the next day and compare himself to Bret Harthausen.
Is this a safe place?
It's always a safe place, man.
Yes. So hear me out. What one person is afraid of? The supernatural, ghouls,
Dominic
paranormal. Mysterio. Okay, and who's currently cursed?
Dominic Mysterio.
What if Dominic is so spooked out and scared from Danhausen that Danhausen, who's been looking for a home everywhere he goes, wants a mentor, wants to join the New Day, wants to join Miz, he says, I want to be in Judgment Day. And they put him in Judgment Day.
I would love, even if it's temporary, right, for like a short program.
It's just in the clubhouse segments. And Danhausen's part of it.
Genius. I mean, remember the clubhouse segments with R-Truth? How like we only got a couple of weeks of it, but they were amazing. They were some of the most entertaining aspects of Monday Night Raw. And I gotta agree with you. I think it's brilliant. I think like look what happened to him in AAA. He took that chair right to the top of the dome that like split him open. He's cursed, brother. Even though he won the match, he came out battered to the point where he couldn't challenge Penta again for the Intercontinental Championship. He's cursed. That's the beauty of the curse, that like when real bad things happen, you could just blame the curse, and it keeps putting over Danhausen more and more and more.
And Dom's like, please please reverse the curse. And then I was like, wow, I want to be in Judgment Day. And then he's in Judgment Day. And then he goes into the clubhouse. And then Dom's like, hey, JD, Raquel, Liv, this is the new Deadhouse.
That's hilarious.
And then he's there. And then he could curse Liv. He could, like, you know, like there's opportunities for him to mess around, but he could be like, oh, 2K, am I in this game? And they're like, no, you're not. Oh. Well, they better put me in this game or else 2K is cursed. And then they speed run that DLC. They put him in the game. Like, hey, there's just opportunities because you got to give Danhausen a home eventually. And I think that's what they're doing is they're maximizing his, like, oh, he wants to join the New Day. And then what does he do? He goes, he curses. And then I like Kofi underselling the curse. Like, we don't believe in that. And then he oversells it. And then Grayson Waller takes off his clothes because he doesn't want, he thinks like the clothes is cursed. I just wish Xavier was part of that segment because Xavier would be like, no.
Yeah, Xavier would have sold it so well.
He would have sold it so well, but I like and even Danhausen who was like, oh, I want what is it, cursed cereal with Danhausen teeth marshmallows like Bootios, and he's like, what? That's been 10 years ago. Where you been? And then he said, you are cursed.
So good.
You are cursed. Yeah.
With the hip gyration and everything.
Yeah, with a big E, yeah. But yeah, man, you heard it here early. Wrestling is Cool prediction. Danhausen would join Judgment Day, at least for like a couple of segments until he gets bored of him and leaves.
I like it. I think that's a great idea. To be good comedic relief. Dude,
he'll say, where's Carlito? I could eat apples like Carlito.
Dude, book it, trips. That's a new era right there.
For free, Triple H. I wonder how much stuff you get from us for free, Triple H.
He's got to get a lot, man. I still think they stole the final boss from us. That's my headcanon. They heard final boss from us and they ran with it. You know what they didn't steal from us? The idea to keep the MFTs and Wyatt 6 going. Why is this still going? They've had 2 matches, both seemingly for the lantern, both of which the Wyatts have won. They reclaimed the lantern. And then they lose it again. What, dude? This is the most unnecessarily long-term storytelling. Like, they are rinsing this to death. They are making this feud unwatchable with how long they've got it going. It's starting to make Damian Priest versus Aleister Black look like a freaking walk in the park, brother. This is ridiculous.
You know what's gonna be funny is Solo's probably gonna get rid of the lantern for CM Punk. Like, he's going to go, forget that lantern. And we're going to be like, wait, what do you mean forget it? We've been focused on it for months. Wait, why? And then we'll be like, okay, thank God it's over. But I think they're just going to, it's one of those situations like, do they know how to finish it correctly? No. Are they waiting for a PLE? Maybe. But they still, regardless of what it is, they never really gave that lantern power. They've really never said outright what it means. They just said it's something very important to them. Like, give it some power, give it some unique ability. Why it's amazing. Why does he need it? It's like, just come out and say it's Bray's spirit. Like, let's just get that out of there because now there's bigger stakes. Instead, it's just a LED light.
Yeah, it's not. It's not even a real fire lantern.
No, it's not real. And at the same time, you have possession and you lose it, you fumble it like multiple times. How can you keep getting outsmarted by the MFTs when they do the exact same thing to get their lantern back? It's not like that you put it in a safe and Tama Tonga came in and took it away. That's not what happens here. It is interesting. I think that they are using it so Nakamura could call out Tama Tonga. He's just a guy who's holding the lantern. Like, that's all you become. Look at you. You're holding Solo's lantern. Aren't you much more than that? Which I'm assuming what was said, but that's the kind of vibe I got from that segment. And that's what Tama Tonga is, the protector of the lantern that is absolutely doesn't mean anything in the eyes of the WWE. It means a lot to us because we can connect the dots, but it doesn't mean anything in the WWE's eyes.
They haven't made it mean anything, right? They haven't, like you said, as a narrative piece, they haven't made it mean anything. It means... It's got implied meaning, right? You and I, because we know Bray Wyatt, and we know like that symbolizes him. We're able to connect those dots, as you say, and make the implication, the obvious implication that, okay, that's supposed to represent Bray Wyatt, but they haven't done a good enough job on TV to, one, represent that, or two, represent why that's important to the Wyatt Six, and more importantly, why it's important for MFTs to steal it. Because right now it just seems like, ooh, twirled our mustache, we have the lantern. We don't know why it matters or why it's important from a narrative point of view. So it's tough to really care about. And I'd be the first one to tell you, it's done such a poor job at making me care about the potential of a Mania match. Is that what they're building towards? Is a Mania match? Or unless this is a Genie in the Lamp ladder match, like in the backyard wrestling matches that we watch, that grants 3 wishes, I'm not interested in this being a Mania. But if you get 3 wishes, like in the Genie in the Lamp ladder matches that we've seen on patreon.com/SantiZab, then sign me up. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Does this have Mania legs? Is that the intention here?
They would explain why they prolonging it, though.
Yeah,
it's like
but
they just have to hold on for 4 more weeks.
That's a long time.
It's 4 shows. 4 shows.
That's a long time. That's a month, brother. Another month of this?
It's been already.
Brother.
Damian and Alistair, remember they did a flashback and it said 3 months ago. I'm like, oh no.
I want to correct you. We have 5 more episodes of SmackDown before Mania.
Brother. Well, one of them's going to have a show that's supposed to be at Mania. Like one match is supposed to be at Mania. Dude, what if that's what they're in? They're going to be on the go home. They're not going to even be at Mania.
Oh, I mean, there's no way the go home is important. They've done, they do like Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on it and stuff. This is probably go home material. This is maybe pre-show, WrestleMania pre-show material. The reason I'm suggesting that is because it's a lot of people to get on the card. They could do a quick car crash of a match, people going through tables, chairs, some violence, just to get people, warmed up and get excited about the show without being fully invested. Because I do think a lot of the people that will tune in to the pre-show, a huge percentage of them are going to not know anybody. Literally nobody.
That first hour is on ESPN.
That's what I'm saying, right? Because it's on such a large.
That's the first hour.
Yeah. No, I think it's the first hour.
No, the first hour of Mania.
No, it's not. Yes and no. They've made Mania an hour longer, and they've said that first hour is going to be on ESPN. My interpretation of that, I get it. It's still Mania. My interpretation of that is that first hour is a pre-show. Because you know what I mean? Like they purposely made it an hour longer, and that hour just happens to be on TV waves. I'm treating that like a pre-show. That's how I'm interpreting it.
Okay.
And what I'm arguing is that because ESPN is so widely available in the United States, and there's going to be so many sports fans that don't know anybody in the WWE that are going to be casually tuning into that first hour, it's not the worst idea to put in Wyatt Six and MFTs to have a car crash, just to get people excited about like what could happen in the card if car crashes like this are happening in the first hour. Just a thought. I still think this doesn't even have legs for that, if I'm being honest with you.
If you want to see what the WWE can do to inanimate object to make it matter, the urn, Undertaker's urn, is absolutely nothing. But they made that thing matter so much throughout the years. There's one moment that I remember where Paul Bearer is in the middle of the ring and he opens it and out comes this bright flashlight. And he's dancing with it in the middle, and then the Undertaker's spirit comes out of it. Like, that's the kind of thing that WWE can do creatively. But instead, it's just a light that makes the music stop and start.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm fully with you there. Let's talk about some of the other smaller storylines that are going on the road to Mania. They have tried to gaslight us into believing that Tiffany Stratton has always wanted the United States Championship. They just seem to have made it up. Tiffany, you say you want this United States Championship? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I don't recall Tiffany ever saying that. That's me. My chat couldn't connect the dots. I think they just made it up, which whatever, I'm fine with. It looks like we're getting Julia versus Tiffany Stratton for the Women's United States Championship. I would
throw in Kiana James.
Oh, I would throw in Chelsea Green. That's what I was about to say. I would throw in Chelsea because Chelsea's got history with both of them, right? Julia beat her for the championship and vice versa, and she's got the thing going on with Tiffy. I think I would throw in there, and I think Kiana James has the LA Knight spot in some capacity where she gets involved. Brother, sorry, brother, that's what we're calling it. We're calling it the LA Knight spot from now on. Wah, wah. I prefer a triple threat here, but with Chelsea instead of Kiana. That wah sound effect, I hear it in my mind when LA Knight's like, hey, so like, hey, we still hanging out? You guys aren't part of the bloodline, right? Wah, wah.
I hear the Batman that. He's like, does he know?
Something's in my
Yeah, Tiffy, cool, sure. It's one of those things like, all right, but I did like how they did the vignette. If they didn't do a vignette, they did just a regular backstage promo, like her talking to the camera. I think that was sick. They need to do more of those. Yeah, and then Chelsea came out.
I love how Chelsea Green comes in. She's like, hey, I need to talk to you, tacky time. She just gets pushed away and she continues with her promo. Brilliant. I thought that was fantastic. They did totally make this up out of thin air, but I'm down. You know, like this helps the U.S. Championship. This helps Julia. It's Tiffany. She's in that commercial, right, of the dinner scene. She's got to be on the Mania card if that's the case. Can't find a spot for her in the tag team division. Can't find a spot for her in the women's title scene. Sure. I literally think this is best case scenario for not Tiffany, but everybody else. I think it's best case scenario.
She's an All-American. Shakira will carry that United States title really well.
I agree. I think she'd be a great United States champion, and it adds legacy and it gives the title to somebody that could get on a PLE.
That would wrestle on a weekly basis too.
Yeah.
Like you can't not have Tiffy on the card.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. Yeah. They've also got the women's tag team championship scene. We got Nia and Lash. They have a match with the Bellas next week, who for some reason are next in line, which made no sense.
They just said we're next.
Yeah, we're next, and they become next after getting involved in a match, which makes. Anyways, you still have Charlexa in the mix. On Monday Night Raw, Bailey and Lyra said they're going to go after the tag titles. Asuka and Kairi said they're going to go after the tag titles.
Sure.
TLC?
Sure.
Why? That could be the first hour. A women's TLC would be pretty hype, right?
Okay.
That'd be pretty hype.
No name, the Bella Twins, a no name in the people love ladder matches. Probably one of the highest voted matches that we have in Match Club every day.
Bro, every week somebody wants a TLC or ladder match on the Patreon. But I think for me, my implication of this is like, oh, okay, what the hell is Io's plan? Because I thought it was going to be Asuka. I thought it was going to be Julia. Is it Raquel? Like, can we do Raquel versus Io? Just a straight up one-on-one match at WrestleMania? That'd be fun. But like, can we make it matter?
That's a hard thing because you don't want Raquel off the card either. She's earned it. She's earned a spot.
Sure.
She doesn't need the LA Knight spot. You know what I mean? You can't do that to Raquel.
The LA Knight spot. Ah!
You can't do that to Raquel. I think it's very important as well to talk about how Bailey appeared at AAA. That was sick, right?
Yeah, to lose. Every time, just to lose.
She got screwed, all right? She got screwed by Las
Chicas Tóxicas.
Las Chicas Tóxicas. I thought it was, it proved to me that WWE, they have aura no matter where they go, and a Bailey could have that aura. It just hurts me to see her do the job for AJ. I thought that was a great match. I will be unvindicated on that. I did say they could hide AJ in a multi-woman match. This is the right way to get her out, to shake the rust off by giving her workers like a Bailey to work with. I don't think they'll do this on a weekly basis leading up to Mania, but I think that is a way to do it to sharpen AJ Lee up so she could have her singles match against Becky. But I don't think it's just going to be a 1v1 with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. I think it's going to go either a gimmick way or more people involved to it. But regardless, Bailey, I just see the more and more Bailey is used in this way, the more and more Bailey I see she could leave the WWE and go elsewhere because she does have a following. She does have that following, and she could make bank as an indie star. But Do I want her to do that? No, because she has plenty of left in the WWE to finish. But if there's a world where Bayley could work with Mercedes Moné, I think Bayley would be really interested in taking that, considering how she's being booked in the WWE lately.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you if you're Bayley?
I mean, I think if you're Bayley at this point, like, you know that you have the cachet to be valuable and important and used really well in what is a great women's division over in AEW. Like a really deep women's division that just, by the way, recently inserted a women's tag team championship scene. And of course, we know about her and her history with Mercedes and their friendship and stuff. They could absolutely be a tag team and then split up, tell their big storyline, their big feud on an AEW platform. An AEW platform, brother, that we said at the start of the year, it's getting spicy, it's getting hot. And then they go and follow up what we were saying at the start of the year with their first pay-per-view of the year being Revolution, like an unbelievably good show. We don't have time to like go through the whole thing, but it was just a very, very good from head to toe wrestling show. Women's wrestling, men's wrestling, tag team wrestling, some good emotional stuff. So many returns. It felt like AEW of old. Remember when AEW of old, every pay-per-view, you're like, all right, who's returning? Who's debuting? All of that stuff, right? And that's what we got on this show. Just a bunch of returns. Some that I don't really care for. Like Ronda Rousey does nothing for me in terms of moving the needle. Even though, funnily enough, I think AEW could use Ronda Rousey really well just based on how they've been using Marina Shafir, for example, right? Marina Shafir has been lights out good and impressive in AEW, and they've been using her really well. So if they can use Marina Shafir in that level, I think they could use Ronda Rousey to that level. I don't think that it's been confirmed that she's like joined AEW or she's all elite or anything like that. I do want to like point out like a very interesting, like my business brain started kind of like moving around.
Taking over? All right.
And I was like, wow, how fascinating it is to have Ronda Rousey that is actively advertising this big show on Netflix appearing on a rival brand. And by rival brand, I don't mean AEW, I mean HBO Max. I mean Warner Media. I mean what's now going to Paramount. That to me was fascinating. Like, how the frick did that end up happening? If I'm Netflix, that's not where I want my thing advertised. I don't want Ronda Rousey bringing eyeballs to my direct streaming platform competitor. So I'm just fascinated by that.
Maybe not. Maybe you want her over there so they go, by the way, she has a match on Netflix.
Maybe did they? I can't remember if they've said what the commentary was saying about her having a match on Netflix. Did they? They probably did. I just can't remember.
Regardless, it's a strange play considering that some of the times AEW doesn't use its entire roster, and there's a lot of ladies that haven't been utilized to their full potential that they would bring in somebody like a Ronda Rousey. It's an interesting play. I do think AEW's 2 to 3 superstars away from shifting the tide even greater. Let's just paint this picture out. If Bayley, if say a Seth Rollins, if even a Roman, if all of a sudden they get too expensive and Tony Khan gives them the money that they want, that could get eyeballs over there, man. I really thought AJ Styles was going to be the guy that goes over there and get a lot of eyeballs too. But it's just always good for business to have another threat out there, another between two sides. Like AEW certainly sees WWE as a threat. WWE sees AEW as a threat. It's good for business.
It is.
You're going to get the best. You're going to get the best of both. Now, with that, if you look at it and you go, man, that was it Revolution?
Revolution, yeah.
If you get Revolution, you're like, woo, then we got to be a banger for WrestleMania. I think that'll entice the WWE brass to get a little bit more chaotic.
Yeah.
I mean, not fully chaotic, not needles and thumbtacks and glass and hanging a man. No, I don't think that far.
Yeah, I loved it though. That was sick. It was so sick.
But I think Randy could go that. He could go a little further. Or, you know what I mean? He could test the waters a little bit.
I think it's fascinating that WWE didn't counter program this. You know, like out of all, I looked at this card like a week ago. And I said, oh my God, I kind of want to go to LA to watch this. Like I actually was looking at tickets to go to this show it got a little bit difficult, like logistically with what I do and on the weekends and coverage and all that stuff. So I didn't end up going, but it got me to want to go to LA to go see the show. And I know that a lot of people were on that boat, that a lot of people were on the boat of like, I'm going to tune into this show because this card looks insane. It's been a while since I've tuned into AEW. Let me tune into this show because the card is insane. I've never seen AEW, but I see people are saying that this card is insane. Let me tune in to this AEW show. I saw a lot of conversation about either returning to AEW or watching AEW for the first time. Of all the cards that from a business perspective, WWE should have counter-programmed to try and steal the momentum, it was this one. This is the one they should have counter-programmed, and they let it run free and wild, and now everyone is talking highly positively about AEW. By the way, I don't like counter-programming. I'm just talking about the perspective of the business and what WWE has been doing in the past with counter-programming AEW. If there was a card to counter-program from a business perspective from WWE, brother, it was this one. This is the one they should have stolen eyes from.
They were baking on Randy and Cody carrying over like that Friday momentum going over the weekend. And I would say that, does AEW need to sign 2 to 3 superstars to get the momentum going? No, they're already shifting the tide slowly but surely. But I will argue this, that I'm hoping that AEW could translate that to weekly television because this upcoming Dynamite is important.
They struggle, bro. They struggle following up their Dynamites from a great pay-per-view. I know people are like, wow, how does something... I watch the shit. I just don't cover it on YouTube videos. They more often than not, unfortunately, their follow-up Dynamite from a pay-per-view, I'm like, oh my God, we left the genie in the bottle, the spark that you had, you didn't follow it up very well. So I sincerely hope that this episode of Dynamite is a heater. I really, really do.
They got to establish that Raw After Mania vibe. Everyone wants to tune in for Raw After Mania. Everyone wants to see Brock Lesnar walk up to Cody Rhodes.
Just kidding.
What was it? He was going to be his tag team
partner.
And then he betrayed him.
I think, what was it? Was it Roman and Solo versus what was meant to be Cody and Brock? Dude, that was one of the worst Raw After Manias of all time. That was ass. So much ass.
Wait, what?
You played 2K26. Give me
I did.
I mentioned it.
Again, copy provided by 2K, but not for this purpose at all. They just gave it to me because of who I am as a gamer. I did skip 2K25. I even bought the Bloodline Island version, and I didn't pay a dime of it, play a second of it, because I don't know. I felt like a part of me is afraid to embrace the gamer side of me into this space, considering that I don't want to burn myself out by looking at wrestling. But it was interesting because when I started playing 2K26, and I know this is a factor of, you didn't play last year, so you think all this is fun and refreshing. I do think it is very fun and refreshing. I think the new stamina, purple stamina, is you can't counter everybody, so you have to let sometimes a move happen. And it's caused a lot of drama, and I'm enjoying universe mode. I haven't dipped into other things. I know the ring pass is a very, very important talking point for 2K. I think it is a bad thing to charge people over $100 and then have them unlock things through a battle pass type system. Very scary, very heinous. They don't do that in Fortnite. You could play that for free. It's free to play, and the battle pass is a bonus. But to lock wrestlers that were previously available in previous games, it's a kind of a bad look in their eyes. And I never was a fan of 2K's VC system. Always hated it since the early 2K, NBA 2K days, when you buy my team, you put it all together, then now you have contracts and you lose that, and then it's crazy.
And it doesn't carry over to the next game?
No, it doesn't carry over to the next game, and so you just have to redo it all over again. And I've heard people doing that as well with My Rise, where if you prestige, and again, this is all third like hearsay in terms of this, not my experience, but you prestige and then you lose all the VC that you spent on your character because you started over. Weird stuff. Regardless of that, in terms of the gameplay itself, I'm having fun. And it's interesting that as someone that does reaction content to wrestling, is I'm reacting to some of the things that happened. Like I had Cody Rhodes came out and hit LA Knight with a sledgehammer. And I'm like, what the hell is happening here? So it's fun stuff like that, like open challenges. And again, I know this is not new stuff to the 2K branding, but for me, I'm experiencing it a new way. So I'm enjoying it. I am fortunate and blessed that they gave me the Monday night Wars Edition. I didn't even know. They were just like, hey, what do you want on PC? What happens is they go to my agent, what copy does he want, PC or PlayStation 5? I go, PC, but I wasn't expecting the whole shebang. Crazy enough. Would I have ever spent money on it? As you can see, I literally spent money on it and didn't play it. So I'm a weird head case when it comes to gaming these days, because do I play Fortnite? Do I not play Fortnite? Do I cover Fortnite? Do I play other games? My time's limited. I have to do this. But I would say, Santi, when I posted my footage of lore accurate Cody Rhodes, when I hit Cody Rhodes, this is the sequence. I hit him with the LA Knight bow. He stands up. I hit him with 2 BFTs. He kicks out. He stands up, hits me with the crossroads. 1, 2, 3. I lose.
Yeah, that's pretty lore accurate.
Yeah, and then everybody gets and then it goes viral for me. I'm like, oh, okay, so this entices me more. So that's what I mean. When it comes to gaming, I work in 2 different brain operations, motives or modes. One is, do I enjoy playing it? Hell yeah. Do I enjoy making content for it? Is a different story.
Yeah, you gotta ask yourself, am I willing to make this part of my job routine?
Yes, and I know it's lack of better word, it's a shitty situation for me to be in, but it is what it is. I have limited hours, and I have to choose wisely. Because there's been times when I head dove into a game that no one cared about me playing. It's like I tied my ship to it. Speaking of the boat, I tied my boat to it, and then it just didn't go well. So I have to be very strategic. And so when people respond positively of me playing 2K and seeing LA Knight, do his thing, I'm like, all right, cool. What else can I do with this? So I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I enjoyed it. But if you're out there going to spend your real hard-earned dollars, you got to look at those traps that they have, that 2K has. Don't fall for, in my opinion, never fall for My Rise or things like that, because you will end up paying a lot. And I think they need to reevaluate how they do this ringside pass. Again, they only gave me the copy, not to review it. They didn't pay me to post anything about it. They just gave it to me. So I have to tell you that legally I got it for free. So take that with what you will.
All right. Shall we get into new heat order here?
New.
You don't leave.
Don't leave.
Don't you leave.
Or you are
cursed.
a bitch. I wish he would say that.
That's what I'm going to tell Oba that you said about him.
Oh my God. Yeah. What are you going to say?
I'm going to say, hey, Oba, did you know that Sancho said that you are a bitch? That's what I'm going to say.
No, Oba, I'm on your train now. Oba, I'm on your train.
He'll look at this. He'll be like, you're just general admission? What's up with this?
You are general admission. Let's see. 4, 5, 6. Oba, I didn't trust the WWE, what they'd be able to do. They didn't give you the keys to the kingdom right away, Oba. Look at Killer Cross. They didn't give him the keys. Shinsuke Nakamura, they didn't give him the keys. All right. New Heat Order is the fun, the gas, as they say, of all the exciting things that are happening in WWE, who we are excited to see the most. I'm trying to look if I found the other one. This was last week's. Yes, last week's we had CM Punk, the Usos. We had Finn Balor. 4, we had Judgment Day. 5, Cody Rhodes. 6, Penta. 7, Drew McIntyre. 8, Bayley. Danhausen at number 9, and Oba. Let's just see, where does Danhausen go in the new Heat Order? Because
number 11. We gotta include him. He's number 11.
Okay. If we don't include him, we are cursed. Dude, he has a lot of third-party merch that looks really sick. Because he's been an indie guy for a long time. Yeah, and then AW wasn't making merch for him, so he made his own merch. So there's some sick stuff out there.
I'm going to check Pro Wrestling Tees to see if there's still Danhausen stuff.
All right, go ahead. Let's start the bidding at number 1, Randy Orton.
Oh, yeah, not even close.
Okay.
I actually, no, it's close, but it is Randy. And then 2, Obafemi.
Okay. The ruler. Remember, I am allowed again. Remember that. Okay. Number 3.
Cody or Lesnar. One of those two. I'd go Cody, Lesnar, 3, 4 in some capacity here.
Okay, I like that. I like Cody.
Okay.
because we have to give kudos for Cody for the blade job because it was good.
Yeah,
That's a wrestling nerd in me going like, that was a good blade job. Good Crimson Mask there, guy. Number 4, Brock Lesnar, who did a great job himself in the metaphorical blading.
Agreed.
Number 5. Did you like that Miz segment with Jelly? I did not like it. I did not like the "you are fat phobic." I thought that was like
it wasn't great. I think it's got room to become great. That is where I'm at with it. I like Jelly when he said he's just like, I think we all kind of secretly like you.
And he's doing this. I just thought that like Kit Wilson is such a new project for them that they overcomplicated it already. Like, just keep going like you are toxic because we're still getting used to that. Like, he hasn't been like spotlighted like a Danhausen. Like Danhausen's everywhere. And Kit Wilson exploded on the scene. And then they tampered him because they were like, whoa, we're not ready for you. And then now that they're wheeling him back out again, they're overcomplicating it when it was already a delicious, succulent Chinese meal.
Succulent Chinese meal.
Number 5. Who do we got at number 5? Any love for the ladies? Any love for Irresistible Force? Any love for Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill? Jade getting rid of Michin in a interesting way, and then they, No. Isn't it interesting that Rhea and Jade's program of like I'm bigger than you, stronger than you was the same thing that Roman said to Punk?
Yeah. What did Seth Rollins do anything for you?
Oh, you know what, dude? I really thought, but when it was going to be Seth versus Brock, I was like, this makes Rollins look weak. Throw out his masked men hiding behind them,
and they were useless.
They were useless, dude. There was one big boy.
Oh yeah, he's the one that got F5'd.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Brock picked the fo fum fee-fi fo F5. I know it's Fafo.
Daddy, this is the wrong story. Fa la 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 la, fa la F5. That's what I would have gone with. All right. Don't forget, up on the housetop song. He said squirt.
Trick Willie beating Jigga Fatu.
Yes. I want those two guys to wrestle forever. They have chemistry.
Dude, Fatu's been taking L's, getting pinned almost like back-to-back weeks by Trick Willie and then by Logan Paul.
I know, but he looked good, dude. The chemistry between them two was great. The facial expressions that Trick Williams would do after like hitting Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu would just turnbuckle himself.
He's just so yeah, that was great.
And then the backstage segment with Nick Aldis and him, he's like, "Why are you? Where's Trips?"
Yeah, he's great. He's great. Did El Grande Americano do anything for you in between winning Rey de Reyes and they had a really good match at WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw?
I could only think of OG Americano's black thong that he was wearing under.
Yep. The man was showing ass for a while there.
I was watching it with a watch party and I go, wait, is that his ass?
Yeah.
Like I saw the sliver of it. I was like, wait, it's gonna get bigger. And boy, it moved right between.
Right to reveal the like wrestling thong that they wear.
I don't know where you could put these two Grande Americanos because it feels like I'm in a bizarre world when I watch them in AAA and WWE, and I don't even know what's the right timeline.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. This shouldn't even be on the main roster. This should be only on AAA.
Yeah, because you can't grow two things at once. Does that make sense?
No, I get it. I get it.
Push Grande or push OG. If Grande is printing money down in Mexico, let him keep printing money down in Mexico. Don't ruin. Like, did you see that San Antonio crowd started to go for Grande, not OG? They started to cheer for him because it's two hours away from the border.
Okay. So it sounds like we don't want to.
Any love for Stephanie Vaquer?
No, they had her win via roll-up. Why is her champion winning via roll-up at Mania?
How about
or on the
Liv Morgan? Liv Morgan taking credit for kicking out Finn Balor.
I didn't like that retcon. Like, what do you mean?
You didn't?
No, like.
Remember the room key? Remember that room key?
Yeah, but that wasn't. What did that have to do with Finn Balor? Like, what?
I don't know.
Yeah, and then like, remember she joined the Judgment Day by helping Finn win championship gold. Like, I feel like it's a weird retcon that didn't really actually make any sense. I never. Yeah, I mean, I saw it maybe like over the last couple of months, tension between Liv and Finn, but to try and tell me that it's been 2 years in the making. And by the way, you didn't kick him out; he kind of kicked himself out. Just to clarify, so I don't know what this whole 2-year plan that you're talking about it is. I think it's just retconning, man.
How about number 6, Paul Heyman?
You know what? Yeah, man, the man looked disheveled.
Yeah, I think he jabbed himself in the eye.
I think he like squeezed a lime in there or something.
He looked like plankton coming out there. I've been watching a lot of SpongeBob. I never was a SpongeBob guy, but my daughter and my son getting into it. Nice. So,
dude, I love SpongeBob. SpongeBob's so good.
SpongeBob. My
Make
son
them
has
watch
a new
early SpongeBob. Early SpongeBob's the best.
Well, they start with the movies. That's the way they work. They start with the movies,
okay,
and then when they want to watch SpongeBob, and I don't have an hour to spare to them, they watch SpongeBob the show. Okay. So they work backwards. Number 7. This has been it's been a top heavy 2 weeks.
Yes,
I'm noticing.
I mean, it's very Mania for sure.
Any love for Roman or CM Punk? Did they really hurt themselves that they fall out of the new?
I mean, I would put Roman over Punk, at the very least because of the the call to arms to the Bloodline, and the Bloodline backstage segments were pretty fun.
Yep.
I still think Punk is in the conversation here. I still think you got to put him in the top 10. I don't think he's out of the top 10, but I would put Roman over Punk.
I just find it odd for him to do that when he has history. I swear to God to you, someone told him that Punk is old in the WWE. Or am I just thinking of MJF telling Punk he's old?
I don't remember. If that had a deeper meaning, I didn't catch it.
Neither did I. I mean, I like CM Punk because he says things like Samoa Joe, like he references things in a very clever way. But eventually that's going to run out of steam if that doesn't lead to anything. Like, why bring up Samoa Joe if it doesn't lead to anything with Samoa Joe? Because it won't. So Punk at 10, 8, 9, or 10?
Just below Roman. Just below Roman. We can. They are kind of married together.
Any love for Penta, Dragon Lee?
I definitely love for Penta. Definitely love for Penta.
You like how he came out in that segment and he just did the Cero Mero.
Yeah, I love that. That's so funny. It was so perfectly awkward, but it worked.
I think the production was supposed to add the Cero Mero crowd or like pipe them in because
it was just quiet.
It was just shoe squeaks on the floor. At 10, we don't have any ladies on here. But I'm just looking here.
They kind of had a weak week.
Valid.
Maybe like AJ Lee.
Maybe Bailey? In love for Bailey?
You know what? Let's put Bailey. You know what? Sure. Going down to AAA, having a great match with Flamer. Solid match with AJ Lee. Let's do it.
Where's your new order? Hey, shout out to the Bell Twins for making a comeback. We were wondering where you were.
Yeah.
Again, another thing in the WWE. Oh, they must really want them because they're wondering. No, we're just calling you out because they're missing. Like, what? You forgot something. Hello.
All right. Well, folks, thank you guys very much for watching and or listening to this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. An extra special thank you goes out to our $15 patrons. They are the producers of the show.
Join.
Not only do they get, of course, all the content, but they also get movie nights on Patreon, and they get their names read out at the end of every show as part of our credits. So thank you to Daddy Dom was Rob, Justice for Dirty Dom, 414, Russ, 8 letters, 1 word, Pressure, Toasty, Ao Salguero, Acknowledge the Pressure, Active D4C, Adri Bestie, Aco 4559, Abreem Zuda, Alex Regal, Alex, Alfie the Chosen One, Amalek, American Nightmare, Cody Lander, Anthony Blaze, Antonio Arjona, Antony, Eric's, Ariel Pacheco, Arrogance, Arturo Gonzalez, Ashley, Ashlyn Poole, Ozzy Kingslayer, Austin the Pressure, Mawepa Theory, Austin the Pressure Theory, Avado Wepa, Baldy, Bailey is underappreciated, Ben Phillips, B, Hostile Raquel, Blaine, Blenda, Blue Bat, Loves Wrestling, Blue Cord, Bluefish, Brad Davis, Braden Primo, Brock putting Oba over, works for me, brother. Brody Cyphers, Bronk Legsner, Ponytail Bitch, Brian Gallardo, Bubba the Big Fella, Bunny Swag, Cameron Warren, Cameron Talks WWE, Carlito, KCR, CB, Chad Chainser, Chandler Swinford, Chew Poppy, Chris Butner Lucas, Chris Kyle, Christian Anderson, Christian Patterson, Chucky Gonzalez, Colby Mayo, Connor Harris, Cool Whip Tim, Corey King, Cowboys fans, go to the mall to buy dildos, Cucumber in the Bum, Damian Martinez, Dan Schubert.
At least we're proud of what we buy. We don't hide from like Amazon.
Darth Squiggles, Dijon Salgado, Derek Barnhart. That's a crazy line. Dirty Dom for Undisputed Champion 2026. D. Lopez, Dominic DeCoco, Drake Hughley, Dylan, Eagle Steve, Egg Toast, El Juan de Americano, El Joshi, Eric Ruiz Romero, Ethan Richardson. Hey, it's Santi. Points at last at Sancho. Isatch, not allowed Sancho. Finn Balor's Demon Dong. What the hell? Oh. The Demon Dong. I don't like that. I don't know.
No, I don't.
I am not a fan of the Demon Dong at all, my friend. Let's keep going. Demonito. Fletcher Walpole, FMFCMA, Foster JK, Freddie Trejo, Freelance Hot Takes, Frenzy Wrestling, Freezer, Fugnux, Epheson Fugnux, US and Ugnux, Gaming Nerd 315, Gibby the Pressure Fresher, Gilbert Deans, Glass Eater, God Slayer, Godspeed, Goonhausen. We have 2 Goonhausens. Be creative, guys. Goonhausen. We have 3 Goonhausens. You think we can get the 5 Goonhausens?
We're gonna get like 30 now.
Yeah, we have 3 Goonhausens. Goose Lesnar, GXA Man, Heath Robertson, Hey Shakes, Santi Zap, I'm a Eve Torres stan. I'm Rick James, bitch. Ilya Drag Ya Nuts, El Magic. I'm just here for the Weppahausen. Isaiah Schaffer. Or Schaefer. Issa says, for week 14 of asking Santi to pay for my WrestleMania ticket. It's Mista, it's Bogey, it's Astro Kid, it's Lamau. Sancho, how do you say LMAO? Do you say Lamau or LMAO?
Oh, I say Lamau.
I say Lamau as well. Yeah, it's been a big debate in my community.
I say Lamau, but I read it the other way.
Yeah, I think I'm Lamau both ways.
Okay.
Like if I'm like reading a sentence and I get to the end and it says Lamau, in my head I say Lamau. Out loud I definitely say Lamau.
Okay.
Jack Gibley, Jack Harris, Jacob Dorn, Jacob Mueller, Jacob Saffel, Jake, James Armin, James Smith, Jared Hernandez, Jason Flynn, Jason Vane, Javier Rodriguez, Jack Steller, Javion McDuffie, JC Worley, Jeremiah Alston, Jeremiah Finley, Jeremiah Kelly, Jahihi Ahihi, Joe Benitez, Joe Exotic, Joe Velez, Joey Romig, Joey Wrestling, Jonathan Cox, Johnny Moore, Johnny Owens, Jordan Marte, Jose Olivares, Josue Navarro, Juan Lamelli.
They said you could buy tickets at Mania Set on top of the stage.
Oh,
they just announced that.
It's cool. They did that last year, I think. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I thought those were like invited. I thought Weezy just got invited to. That was like a lounge area.
I think that you're talking about the side. There were some I think were above the stage.
Oh, it says right here. Tickets for premium seats on top of the iconic WrestleMania set on sale.
Yeah,
so good luck with Pyro.
I think those were available for sale last year, but not the side ones. Those were like an Xfinity lounge or whatever.
Yeah.
Junior, Justin Brooks, Justin Perkins, Justin Russell, Caleb Martin. Keep Sancho's name out your effing mouth. Kevin Vega, Kevin Clark, Kilo SC2, KJT, Cody Barker, Christopher Gutierrez, Ellie Nighthausen, Lawrence Richard, Lemon Wepa Precious Steppas. You hear that? Yeah. The Lemon Wepa Precious Steppas. Anyways, Lil Shifu, Living Illusion, Logan Ward, Look, it's Pac-Man, Wepa, Luis Jimenez, Luisito El Calvo, Majed, Mal the Wepa Pressure, Mark, Marnie, YCSM, Mason, Matthew Oberg, Matthew Watkins, Mossy, Mackay, Meredith Lee, Michael Mornane, Michael the Third, Miguel Paredes, Minoru Suzuki is goaded, Muhammad Al-Banai, Nathan Tully, Nicholas Protopapis, Nicholas Kyle, Nicholas M. I'm just going to call you Nicholas M. I can't pronounce your last name. Nihilus, NyQuil Pad, Noradin was Noradin. Oba wins or we ride. Oba. Hashtag Sancho can't ride. Obi Nobi. Oil up now, Santi. Old man Rican. I think I'm going to get a lot of heat for letting you on the train and general admission. I'm realizing. I think I'm going to get a lot of heat. You're off the train again. Oliver, I'm kidding. It's a joke. We can't joke. We can't have fun. We can't have a succulent Chinese joke. Oliver Hammonds, Omar Ghazawi.
What if people left right after you said that? Like, oh, he's off the train.
Oscar, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Pat R, Pat Mick Mark, Peyton Muscleman, Philip Dumas, Frody, Prince Vegeta, Puppet Spanker Johnson, Randomly Chosen, Rangadog, Rainier, Reaper God, Red Hot Wepa Peppas, Rick Mar, 1R, Ricky Dutcher, Rose City Savage, Roman Reigns in the Vin Diesel of the WWE, Ryan Halberg, Ryan Muniz, Ryan Spradley, Riley, Sadie Brink, Salty Dad. Sancho doesn't like donating to charities. Sancho, just a quick reminder, you're not allowed. Sancho stays blocked on X. Sauce God, Saudi Rick Boog, Savage Fields, Scott Linden, Shane, Sean Sampson, Shitstain Nakamura, Skyler, Slayer, Smag, Stay True, Sugar Shane, Super Malachi Galaxy. Take a shot every time Sancho says Goodul. The Patriots own the Chargers. The Pressure Housing, the Vancouver Rin Job, Vanilla Joe Rilla, the LA Knight Mega Glazer Jacob Kufis, the Final Boss Bloodline Rules, Tom Lehman, Tom Dodd, Trevor Harder, Trevor Shiflett, Turner Dahl, Tycho, Tyler Bouchard, Tyler Logan, Tyler McGarry, Undead, Unknown Zero, Utah Beach, Vegan Penguin, Venom D. Tyler, Verzo, Voidsy, Wade, Juan Pablo III, Wayne Heiser, Wayne 082, White Mexican, Wody, William Newton, Wyatt, Zach Smira, Yo Girl Side, Zach Griffin, Zach Butcher, Zay 2K, Zeke Love, Zergzito, Osaka, BBNJ, and Gracias. That is a record number of $50 patrons. So thank you guys very much for your support. Thank you very much for allowing Sancho and I to do what we do as often as we do it. Folks, you guys take care. Be wonderful people. Goodbye, everybody.